Sì, è arrivato solo alle 4 ore. Allora, Perché non... Che è successo papà? Che è successo? Di a tuo papà. Di a tuo papà che è successo? Non lo so. A me...
Io ce l'ho bingo.
E mettilo alla
Ma come lo dici?
No, è perché lei si è messa a giocare. Hai giocato là e da... sì. Si è messa... Ah sì, là. Che è successo papà? E sto chiedendo che è successo, mica l'ha detto.
È perché vuoi vedere il bingo?
Diana. Ok, ma ecco, mamma lo mette. Sta in camera di là. Quello grosso. No, perché voglio programmare streaming qua. Ah, cavolo, mo scendo. Se l'avevo dimenticato io, scusa. Sì? Come...
Devo fare questo pollo, non so se è ancora buono da congelare o se te lo devo buttare. Lo butto? Ok.
Allô? Yeah, madame. What's up? How are you? Sorry, buddy. What's happened? What's happened? So how this is happen? Why you not coming to see this one? Hello? Hello? Yeah. You say what you... Say mommy come for where? Wetin happen? Where mommy come from? Uh,
So what you make it for the you know,
say,
bring blood.
say, who's person here they bring blood?
Easy.
Wetin say happen when mommy wetin reach our when mommy go injure wetin?
It's not because they like that for share they sleep. Now I don't want to make how they sleep. I say nothing like make come up for there. Like this night they for sure everybody, if anybody know me, yeah. Let's say we call like all the time, let's say maybe let's no call them again. Say no one get shit there. You don't for sure we come up for us, so now I don't see the for sure. Later I will say one person now they catch our own.
Say wetin break all those. You say wetin break all those things. Na wetin come reach all this one when mommy dey behave like this? Wetin? Na house wey dey think about na dey bring all this one. All sky TB all this ones. You see wetin I dey talk about last time. You see all this kind thing I no this kind thing be all this one. This kind thing be all this one. Na why mommy go dey behave like that? Say wetin you see wey reach that one. Wetin be all those ones? This kind thing be all this one na. The house wey dey fight for so na because of this house na make one naira no dey my hand. Now I dey try finish and I don still tell am say you no need to dey take any pepper eye dey face anybody. When he tell me say see wetin happen, I tell am no need to for you to dey take pepper eye face anybody because I dey do everything on my power to make sure say I finish the house far. If not be una know say my woman get belle, na I dey expect pikin any moment for now. I dey buy baby things. Na make me no be say money no dey for me to finish the house. But if I finish the house, wetin my wife and pikin go chop? Wetin dem go eat? Okay, if I finish house now, wetin my wife and pikin go chop? Na house mommy use dey hear. I say if dem so make e take things easy. Say small I go take care of that house issue. He tell me say when. Then wetin come reach this one now when he come dey I go call am now. If e be say na this kind thing be all this one now. This kind thing be all this one. You say make mommy because na so that they bring paper, na so that they serve paper. They carry this one person. Leave mommy. You see all these things, all this kind of conversation now I don dey tell mommy about. Now all these things I no dey like. Now make I no gree stay. Now make when I dey worry that I no gree stay. Na because of all these things, all this kind talk, all this kind character. And na make when I dey tell una say na me know the mama wey born una. Una be say I dey lie. Now una don see wetin I dey talk about abi. Una don see wetin I dey talk about. E go be like say person dey talk. Una don take una eye see wetin I dey talk about.
Oggi è 24, io sto scadeva al 20 e abbiamo comprato scaduto. Io non so che comprati fare.
This whole thing tire me. I go tell Mavis make you come in, make I talk to Mavis, make no vex. I go
Make a call her for WhatsApp.
I
Make a call
go
her for WhatsApp and tell her make call you.
okay. I go call mommy. I dey program something now. Once I program wetin I dey program finish, I go call mommy. Wetin come bring all this out. The person
They control everybody from up to her.
the house so no be say I tell her say I no go do am. Na the thing she herself know say I dey try my best. Inside last month and this month so no be small money I don spend. No be wetin I think of before. No be wetin dey my budget. All these things happen all of them together. Una sef una see am. When e say for the house money for house rent, I send the one when e dey my hand. All of una bear witness. Na no be my fault. No be anybody fault because I try all my best to make sure say this I do wetin mommy so that she go dey happy. But na she wan pack. Wetin I tell her, I no tell her last time say if you no wan pack, you no get anything wey go happen because you no dey hold the person house strength. You pay. That one no be problem for now till February. If no be something I had something go yesterday night, this week before, if no be make God make bad luck no follow person, make bad thing no happen. E get game when I play almost 15 million. Na one game na spoil am, or if not before if to say that 15 million enter, e never reach take do the house. E don reach take do the house now. I don tell her say make e no worry, make e just exercise patience. Which kind thing be all this? I no tell her make e get patient. Hello Clinty, how you dey? Wetin dey happen? This guy team the other side. This guy if mommy dey behave like this, he go make me vex. I no dey like all this guy to me. This guy team the other one now. That's how the artist. Progress dey coming now. They tell me wetin dey go on. You understand? I don't know. Yeah. See? 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 Natimo solo. Yeah, I dey hear you. Natimo solo, 5 minutes. I dey hear you. I dey hear you. My woman dey call me. I dey tell her say make give me 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Na only my wife sister they come house. Not be both at first, all of them they come house. Not be my house, all of them they dey. No.
Say, you know, when I say all the tributes to him, I've just known him, been in his company a few years ago, that's for sure. I'm grateful to have that time with him.
They're just showing the banner that they have in Old Trafford, which says Sir Bobby, born in Ashton, made in Manchester, and the idea that he's had such an affinity with this club, with the set of supporters at Old Trafford, and is part of the reason, Dion, that European nights at Old Trafford are as special as they are.
Absolutely. I mean, it's ringing around the stadium at the moment. One Bobby Charlton. You know, they're trying to get the whole stadium to sing it, and it feels different tonight, Kelly. It feels very different from the stadium. And yeah, I'm pretty sure these fans are going to try and do all they possibly can.
And actually started this round of there's only one Bobby Charlton from the Copenhagen fans in their corner, because they know that the big tribute for Old Trafford is still to come. So they've had their own little tribute. They're standing, must be 2,000 of them in the corner, the away section. Copenhagen scarves above their heads, singing "There's only one Bobby Charlton." That's a really nice touch.
Well, the fans have been asked to come into Old Trafford, to spend time outside Old Trafford, where there is a statue, of course, featuring Sir Bobby Charlton, to lay wreaths, to lay tributes, to lay shirts, of course, and their messages of condolence. But they'll also, in the stands of Old Trafford, be sharing their memories, those of them who were lucky enough to see him play, sharing their memories with those young enough to have missed him, but who will, of course, have heard all those stories stretching back to Manchester United's first European Cup win, first English club to win the European Cup in 1968, led by their captain, Sir Bobby Charlton, who scored 2 goals in the European Cup final. But for Manchester United this evening, they find themselves in a difficult situation in their group. They are bottom of the group without a point from their opening 2 game, but they want to put that night right, particularly tonight against FC Copenhagen. Kickoff is very shortly approaching. It is going to be a long time, or there is going to be a long time spent on remembering Sir Bobby Charlton in the build-up to this game. So we can head over to Old Trafford and join our commentary team there of Dion Dublin and John Murray.
Yes, thank you very much, Kelly, and welcome everyone. Come the teams from the tunnel for a very important match of Champions League football this evening. But we are talking to you tonight, as we always do from Old Trafford, from the seats in the Sir Bobby Charlton stand. And to get into this stand, you have to walk along the Munich tunnel. And before the match tonight, we will have a very special tribute to the great man, one of the greats, Sir Bobby Charlton, who certainly has a claim to be Britain's greatest football player. The teams walking out side by side, the captains with pennants in hand. Bruno Fernandes reaches the halfway line, Manchester United in the red tracksuit tops, and FC Copenhagen, the Danish champions, in dark blue, as as they line up on the other side of the halfway line. We will have the Champions League theme as they line up, but this is all building towards the minute's silence, which will come just before kick-off. The coaching staff for the two teams are making their way along the side of the pitch, but not yet Erik ten Hag, because he is an important part of the ceremony that we will witness in a few moments' time. Champions League ball is moved away, the big flag in the shape of the ball, away to the right as we look to it, towards the east stand, and the players move along the line and shake hands with one another, and then the two captains will come together and complete the pre-match formalities.
Manchester United mourning one of our greatest sons. Sir Bobby Charlton was a hero to millions, not just in Manchester or the United Kingdom, but wherever football is played around the world. He played 758 games and scored 249 goals for United, winning 3 league titles, the FA Cup and European Cup. For England, he won the 106 caps, scored 49 goals and won the World Cup in 1966. Yet, he was admired as much for his humility and integrity as a person as he was for his outstanding qualities on the pitch. So Bobby will always be remembered as a giant of the game and will live on in our hearts forever. Everyone here tonight and watching around the world sends our heartfelt sympathies to his wife, Lady Norman, his daughters and grandchildren, and all who loved him. In a few moments, our manager, Erik ten Hag, former teammate Alex Stepney, and new team captain Dan Gould will take to the field to lay a wreath in the centre circle.
And that list of achievements, that might possibly never be equal by anyone on a football field. Yet what's such an important part of his story is, never forget, he was 20 years old when he was dragged from the wreckage of that airplane.
Sir Bobby Charlton, the finest English footballer the world has ever seen.
And now, emerging from the red tunnel in the corner of Old Trafford, a lone piper who is going to play the anthem, "We'll Never Die." And Erik ten Hag lays the red and white floral wreath on the halfway line, with Alex Stepney on his left, the new team captain Dan Gould to his right.
On the referee's whistle. Trafford, goes on Bobby Charlton.
Well, he was born in the northeast of England, in Ashington, in Northumberland, but Bobby Charlton became a man of Manchester, more specifically a man of Manchester United. And Erik Ten Hag is now carrying that red and white floral wreath, red roses, white lily of the valley, and he reaches the halfway line, and that wreath will be laid in front of the dugout down below us. And there is also, as the piper makes his way off the field, there's another wreath similar to that sitting on Bobby Charlton's seat to our left in the director's box, and the note on it reads, "Loved, adored, never forgotten, thank you," from the Manchester United family. But as Sir Bobby Charlton would very readily acknowledge, Dion Dublin, the show goes on, and it's a Champions League show, and Manchester United are up against it in this group. 2 matches played, no points, and the Danish fans, Copenhagen, the Danish champions, with 1 point from their 2 matches so far. They've taken the lead in both matches they've played. Their supporters have been a part of this, and they are bouncing up and down in the stands in the corner. What a contrast to the sombre scene that we've just witnessed inside the stadium.
Yeah, and you know, they're playing their part tonight. They were singing along to "There's Only One Bobby Charlton." And it's great to see them enjoying themselves as well. The big game. So Bobby's looking down tonight, saying, "Get back to work, lads. There's a job to be done." That's what he's saying.
Yeah, these are the middle 2 matches in this group against Copenhagen, FC Copenhagen, who will feel that they should have more than 1 point in the matches that they've played, having taken the lead in those 2 games. Manchester United making 2 changes, and it is United in possession, attacking towards the east stand. It's behind that east stand where the United Trinity, featuring Bobby Charlton, stands with all of the floral tributes and such like in front of it. And Manchester United with Onana in goal, and then the back 4 is Dalot, Harry Maguire, who keeps his place for the Champions League. Raphael Varane comes back in, so does Sergio Reguilon at left back after 5 matches out. So that's the back 4. Amrabat and McTominay, the informed goal-scoring McTominay, with 3 goals in the 2 wins, the last 2 matches in the Premier League. Then Bruno Fernandes centrally, the captain, Anthony on the right, Rashford on the left, and Rasmus Højlund through the middle, who's playing against the club where he started his professional career. Rasmus Højlund, as Copenhagen have a goal from distance, with Falk, the central midfielder, hitting that from probably 30 yards when it rolled into his path with the right foot. In fact, it was Achuri who hit it, and it must have just taken a little deflection which carried it wide for a first corner of the match to Copenhagen. Well, that's some intent from Elias Achuri.
Yeah, what a strike that was, by the way. He actually received the ball in the middle of the park, and he realised all the red shirts were falling away from him. He had to go 30 yards, 35 yards. Needed a touch, by the way.
And then I got a hand to it. I think it might have been going. Do you think it might have been going in? I think it might have been going wide. Anyway, here's the corner for Copenhagen, which is headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box. Shot back in, takes a deflection up into the air, and Manchester United man goes down in the box. I think it's Bruno Fernandes who goes down clutching his head, and that ensures that Manchester United have actually been given a free kick by the referee, the Italian referee Marco Guida, incidentally. And it's a busy night tonight. There are many matches up and down the country. We're keeping an eye on Arsenal, who are in Spain to play Sevilla. But there is a 5 Live final score in operation tonight, so you can listen to this commentary, the 5 Live commentary, alongside the final score graphics and the video printer via the red button or via BBC iPlayer, via the BBC Sport app. Just click on 5 Live final score. And the Copenhagen team tonight, top of the Danish league. Grabara is their goalkeeper, the Polish international, who's in the goal to our right, all in light blue as the ball is played back to him, and he clears just in the nick of time with Højlund sliding in. And out of play for a throw-in to United near the halfway line. Then the back 4 is Ankersen at right back. He's come in because of an injury to Mailing, who is the left back. So Yelat has moved across to the left-hand side. Favreau and Dix are the central defenders. Then in midfield, Falk with Leiraga and Gonçalves either side of him. Mohamed El Yunusi, the former Southampton man, the number 10 on the right-hand side. Achuri on the left, the Tunisian international, and the captain, Swedish international, top scorer last season, Victor Claesson, is playing through the middle. So Henrik Larsson's son, Jordan Larsson, is only on the bench tonight, as is one of Rasmus Højlund's brothers, Oscar Højlund, one of the young twin brothers. Oscar is on the bench this evening. So it's a big night for Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, he nearly caught the keeper out, by the way, there. He really chased the keeper down, and Guevara, just in time, released the ball. And you see the replay now, and the keeper's a literal millisecond, by the way. Højlund's going to be working hard and putting the keeper under pressure tonight.
So the clearance from Copenhagen. Højlund heads it on, scored two goals in the last Champions League match here, the defeat against Galatasaray, 3 in the competition actually. There's only goals for Manchester United, but El Yunusi, persistent, comes through 2 challenges on the halfway line. El Yunusi with a cross has come all the way over. Varane with a header, and then the shot against the outside of the post comes back into the penalty area. A shot deflected wide. And the opportunity in the middle, Gonçalves with the effort. The Portuguese who shot hit the outside of the post, and Manchester United were that close to being 1-0 down.
Gonçalves there, he literally just pulls away from where the ball is. The ball gets chipped to the far post, and he's there, Gonçalves. He just didn't catch it right. Didn't catch it right with his side foot. He should have just caressed it in. There's a chance in this whole move for Harry Maguire to take ball and man. Could have quashed it. Very lucky.
Very lucky. Sort of hit a bouncing shot, but here's the corner for Copenhagen, which is flicked on at the near post. Via a deflection, which takes it behind a third Copenhagen corner. These are anxious moments for Manchester United, who have got to raise themselves. They could easily be behind already in this match. The latest Copenhagen corner to the near post is headed away by Bruno Fernandes and back towards the halfway line. Busy night, there have been goals elsewhere already. Cardiff are already 2-0 up at Huddersfield. Callum Robinson and Dimitrios Gutas have scored the goals, and Millwall winning 1-0 against Blackburn, yet to appoint their new manager. Millwall, Wes Harding, has put them in front in the Championship. But Copenhagen coming forward, so Diogo Gonçalves with a shot from round about, 13-14 yards out, caught it sort of on the bounce with his right foot, and really, I think you would say Dion could have planted it in the back of the net.
Yeah, chance gone, to be honest with you. It's all about timing and watching the ball onto your foot. Not watching the goal, guiding that into the corner. He tried to do that, didn't catch it right, bounced a couple of times, hit the post. Onana was nowhere near it, I've got to say.
And excellent work from El Yunusi in the build-up to winning the ball. He was second favourite really on the halfway line, and he came through 2 challenges. And it is the visitors, FC Copenhagen, who drew 2-2 against Galatasaray, having been 2-0 up, and then lost 2-1 at home to Bayern Munich, with a winning goal in the 87th minute. Bayern Munich already won tonight, so 3 wins out of 3 for them in the group. But Copenhagen looking good again. Klaassen on the right-hand side, Klaassen's cross, that's blocked behind. Danish cheers. It's looked as though it might have rolled all the way along the dead ball line and hit the post and gone out and hit the corner flag and gone out for a throw-in. It did. So it's a throw-in next to the corner flag. Get an update on how Arsenal have started in a moment. But Copenhagen take this throw in this very dark blue kit of theirs, white numbers on the back. Copenhagen again come forward, but Manchester United clear through Amrabat inside his penalty area. Rashford pulls it down, but presents the ball back to Copenhagen, who are attacking towards the Stretford end on a rather dank night here in Manchester. Dry for the time being. But Copenhagen on the front foot. They've got a progressive young coach, Jakob Næstrup, and here they come with Gonçalves again on the left-hand side, but that breaks down and Manchester United win a throw-in halfway inside their own half. Manchester United haven't got going. Copenhagen haven't let them deal.
Exactly, I think because Copenhagen have come out the blocks absolutely flying, especially down that right-hand side. I've got to say, Achuri, little 1-2 with Klaassen getting in as well. El Yunusi having a chance. Gonçalves having a chance. Keep giving people chances of this quality. They will put the ball in the back of the net. They need to liven up United.
Early goals in League One. Barnsley 1-0 up on Shrewsbury. Blackpool winning 1-0 against Cheltenham. It's Lincoln 0, Charlton 1, Northampton 0, Leyton Orient 1. Peterborough winning 1-0 at Port Vale. Wigan 1-0 up on Oxford. Bolton winning 1-0 at Wickham, and also Reading 0, Fleetwood 1. All latest scores in League One. Dion Dublin with us here inside Old Trafford. Steve Bruce is watching from a distance, not too far away, but the two of them, two great servants of Manchester United. And here's Scott McTominay now, driving the ball forward and giving it to Rashford on the left-hand side. Rashford just 1 goal for Manchester United so far this season. Takes on the defender Ankerson, who blocks it out for a throw 5 or 6 yards away from the corner flag on the left-hand side. There were more encouraging sights from Rashford in an England shirt last week. Super goal, wasn't it? The second one that he scored against Italy.
But we know that's what he can do. He just needs to emulate that form now for Manchester United, giving the ball as much as possible, keep playing him. Let's get that smile back on his face again.
Manchester United in possession. The whistles from the Danish fans, and here is Rashford again. But Fernandes takes it off his toe and gives it back to the shaven-headed Moroccan international, the number 4 Amrabat. No Casemiro tonight, by the way. He was injured on international duty, but he would have been suspended tonight anyway after the red card here against Galatasaray, so he'll be watching on. He is back in the country training again. Here is Varane on the halfway line. Varane to the right-hand side to Diogo Dalot, who scored that goal on Saturday in the 2-1 win against Sheffield United, and Manchester United go all the way back to Banana. So let's find out how things have started for Arsenal. They're in Spain playing against Sevilla, and that match is being monitored by Conor McNamara.
13 minutes played, Sevilla 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal wearing their change kit, dark shirts tonight. One change in the team. Tomiyasu starting in place of Zinchenko, and the Japanese player has started very high up the pitch. He's had the first shot of the game tonight, just wide from the edge of the area. A better chance fell to Martinelli, who tried to put it through the goalkeeper's legs. Neeland blocked with his feet. Sevilla 0, Arsenal 0.
Goal in the championship match involving the leaders, Betty Glover.
And it's the leaders, Leicester, that have taken the lead 1-0 over Sunderland, and it's James Justin. The corner was swung in, and it was Justin who got the highest and headed it into the top left corner. Disappointing for Sunderland, who before that had the best chance so far of the game. It's Leicester 0, Sunderland 0.
Thank you, Betty. Leicester going great guns. Dion?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. They've got a lot of quality. It's a good football club, well-run football club, and that's it. One chance, get back up to the top league. That's what they want.
Manchester United 0, FC Copenhagen 0. Welcome as well to listeners to BBC Radio Manchester, who are with us here tonight on 5 Live. And also, you can listen via BBC Sounds as Anthony has a little scurry down the right, but the ball runs out of play. And Copenhagen have a throw. Early goals in League 2. It's Wimbledon 0, Accrington 2. Doncaster 0, Salford City 2, Forest Green 0, Barrow 2. Also Grimsby 1, Colchester 1, Harrogate Town 0, Mansfield 1, MK Dons 1, Bradford City 1, Notts County 1, Newport 0, Swindon 0, Gillingham 1, and Wrexham 1, Sutton 0. All the other matches still 0-0. So Copenhagen in possession. Bayern Munich winning 3-1 in Turkey against Galatasaray. Harry Kane got one of the goals, so Bayern Munich 9 points out of 9 in this group, and Inter 2-1 winners against Red Bull Salzburg in the other early kick-off. So Inter are now top of that group with 7 points. The ball at the back with Favreau. It's a long pass for Achuri to get his head to, but just miscontrolled it. Dalot was right there with him, and so the ball was behind. And it is a goal kick to Manchester United that Onana will take. Anxious times, nervy times.
Yeah, just a bit sloppy from United so far. I just don't like the two centre-halves having the ball for so long at their feet, waiting for somebody to show for them. Force people to get into positions, get the ball out your feet, pass it into their feet quickly. Harry Maguire puts his studs on it, Varane's putting his studs on it, get the ball moving.
Blackburn have equalised against Millwall at the Den. Rankin Costello with the goal, scored on Saturday as well. So 1-1 Millwall against Blackburn. 0-0 here at Old Trafford. Almost 15 minutes played after the emotional scenes. But the players have got to deal with that. Erik ten Hag was heavily involved in the tribute before the match. But you've got to harness it, Dion, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got to use that energy and emotion to make sure that you put into a positive performance tonight.
Dalot hitting a long pass high from the halfway line, up through the middle. Bruno Fernandes challenging Favreau, the Slovakian international, who's been able to head it away in class and has taken it away from Amrabat on the halfway line. Gives it to the dangerous El Yunusi on the right. He has a look, swings it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. That's cleared away by Varane. It's flicked forward. Varane is there again to take the ball down. Might have been fouled by Achuri. No, the referee says it was a clean challenge by the Tunisian international. And here he is again. Lovely footwork from Achuri. Takes it away from Bruno Fernandes, but the cross didn't beat Dalot. But Copenhagen back in possession with Falk. And then back towards the centre circle. To the left-sided central defender, Diggs. And now his partner there, Vavro, out to the right-hand side to Ankersen. Lots of experience there, 33 years old. Danish international, 4 Danish internationals in the starting lineup, teammates of Eriksson, who's on the bench. And now Ankersen on the right-hand side. His cross to the near post. Actually, well, it was caught by Onana, who's then carried it over the dead ball line at the near post, unless it was deflected already behind.
Yeah, might have got a deflection.
It was already behind.
On its way in from Region, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Just off his chest.
So another corner. This is their 4th corner. Great start.
They've come forward and they've been really positive with everything they've done. They've found their way down the right-hand side, mainly little 1-2s, getting into that corner pocket, putting the ball. They're not refusing crosses. That's a danger.
Corner then to be taken from the right. Gonçalves is going to take this. It's a high one, deep one towards the back post, towards the central defender, Vavro, who was actually beaten to it. He had a Manchester United player on either side of him, but it is Achuri who's already catching the eye on this left-hand side. The 24-year-old plays it back centrally. Now the left-back, Yelert, plays it over to the right-hand side to Ankersen, the other full-back who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, Grabara, who's about to move to Germany, actually. He's going to be moving to Wolfsburg at some point. Might be in January, might be at the end of the season. Manchester United winning the ball back, and now here's Region on the halfway line, goes back towards the halfway line, and Bruno Fernandes will play it back to Varane in the centre circle. Amrabat offers himself as an option. Varane uses it. Now here's Anthony on the right hand side. Anthony yet to get off the mark for Manchester United this season. Back to Varane in the centre circle. Now Harry Maguire rolls it out towards the left-hand side. It's whipped forward by Rashford. Højlund in the box. Shoots from the angle. It's set up nicely for him, but he couldn't keep the shot down, and it whizzed away from the left side of the penalty area. Left-footed. Maybe 3 yards over the top of the bar.
Yeah, so much better as well. Ball into Marcus Rashford. He's halfway into Copenhagen's half. Just turns it down the corner. Great run from Højlund. Across Vavro. Touches it with his left thigh and tries to strike. It doesn't work this time, but just that quicker movement and that quicker run gets a half chance.
So it is Manchester United 0, FC Copenhagen 0. Still 0-0 Arsenal against Sevilla. But Favreau in possession, plays it through the middle. Falk is put under pressure by Højlund. It's a free kick, says referee Guida. I was talking to one of the regular watchers of FC Copenhagen, and they said this is not like Stella Solbakken's team. Do you remember his FC Copenhagen, who were a bit stodgy, weren't they? He said they're not like that at all. He said this Copenhagen team really have a goal, and Jakob Næstrup, who, I mean, it sounds like a very familiar story. He's a young coach, 35 years old, not much of a playing career. It was ended by injury. He was involved in a car accident as well, and all that meant that he turned early to coaching. So he's a bit of a career coach, very well thought of, and his team play good, positive football. And apparently he's got his eyes eventually on bigger things.
Yeah, listen, a lot of energy in this side so far. Know exactly how they have to play, and to the letter they seem to be getting it right at the moment.
Long ball from the goalkeeper for Copenhagen. Varane wins the header. Here's Maguire, and then it's touched back by Amrabat to Varane, who picks out a pass to the halfway line to Anthony. Tries to go around Yelert. He's taking him on now, Anthony, and he's gone past him. Yelert recovers though, puts in the challenge. Well defended by the number 19, usually the right back, but with Mailing out injured for this match. Yelert at left back. He made his debut in that match, you know, we were talking about last week when Denmark narrowly won against San Marino, won his first cap in that match, and I'm told he had an absolute nightmare against San Marino. Here's Dalot with a cross from the right. Rasmus Højlund tried to get there, couldn't make a clean contact. The two central defenders were in there as well, Vavro and Dix, and they deflected it away. But Hoyland putting himself in the right areas. As Manchester United come again to Dalot, takes it down nicely. Dalot takes on the full-back, clips it across towards the back post, but the defender comes across. Lehrager it was, the midfielder, back in his own penalty area to head it behind, and it's a corner to Manchester United.
Yeah, brilliant work from Dalot. The first cross was absolutely outstanding. We're right behind him, bends it into that 6-yard box there, and Hoyland just doesn't really want to get there. He should have really gone for it. He could have scored. Second cross, positive, one-on-one, getting into dangerous areas. Got 2-on-1 here in the corner.
Yep, corner. Fernandes to take this. Anthony is there. Players Manchester United red shirts around the penalty spot. Bruno Fernandes waiting to take this, out swinging with his right foot. It's a deep one as well towards the back post, looking for Maguire, but it was headed away for Copenhagen and then taken away by Achuri. But Manchester United win it back from him, and here's Rashford back onto his right foot. Now back to Anthony. His ball into the penalty area, deflected by a Copenhagen foot, and then cleared away by Ankersen towards the halfway line. Manchester United 0, FC Copenhagen 0, and is it still 0-0 in the Sevilla Arsenal match? Conor McNamara.
Yes, 0-0 midway through the first half. David Raya, who's trying to stay out of the spotlight really tonight, but he's had an incident very similar to the Declan Rice goal, but very similar to the incident that saw the weekend when he given the ball away very cheaply, trying to pass out of the penalty area under a high press. Now this occasion they didn't concede, Arsenal, but it's got to be a concern that he looks wobbly in that sort of situation again. Sevilla 0, Arsenal 0.
Real Madrid have taken the lead in Portugal against Braga. Rodrigo with that one. Braga 0, Real Madrid 1. They've won their first couple of matches, Real Madrid, in the competition this season. The record winners in League One. Derby winning 1-0 against Exeter. Blackpool now 2-0 up on Cheltenham. And also in League 2, MK Dons 2, Bradford City 1. A second goal for MK Dons. Manchester United in possession with Varane. I think they have finally, 20 minutes on the clock, settled into it. Rashford on the left, cutting infield. Rashford looking for a position to shoot low, which he does from 25 yards, but it just skimmed the surface of the Old Trafford pitch, and Grabara was able to drop down onto his right and hold it comfortably.
Yeah, there wasn't the vicious strike we've seen Marcus Rashford give to keepers before. Got it wrong that time. Keeper just drops on it, but it's better though. More ball down the left hand side for Marcus, bit more ball down the right hand side for Anthony. Still want to see the ball move quicker.
Ball with Manchester United inside their own half. In League 1, Lincoln 1, Charlton 1, equaliser for Lincoln City. League 2, Notts County 2, Newport 0, so second goal for Notts County. And Grimsby 1, Colchester 2 now in League 2. Also Harrogate Town 0, Mansfield 2, and Wickham 0, Bolton 2. Manchester United with Dalot. Dalot just 5 yards inside the Copenhagen half, looks to get it back and then commits a foul on Rasmus Falk, and actually has come off worst in that. The two of them sort of tangled together. It was a foul by Dalot, but I think the way that Falk went down, I don't know whether he threw up his leg and caught Dalot on the chin, but he's all right. He's
I think he may have caught a stray arm in the face. Falk just trying to keep Dalot away from the ball, nice and strong. Caught one in the nose. He's okay. He's up on his feet.
So 5 Live, Radio Manchester from the BBC. Listen as well via BBC Sounds. That's where you get your podcasts in the morning as well. Still Rugby Union Daily podcasts coming your way for this final week of the competition. We'll have commentary on the third place match involving England and indeed, of course, the final itself this weekend. Also, daily TMS podcast from the Cricket World Cup and the 5 Live Football Daily as ever. Here's Amrabat, might have committed a foul as he brought the ball away. Certainly the Copenhagen fans think so. Amrabat though gets it back, gives it to Anthony. Anthony beats Yelich. Now a little ball into the area to Hoyland, flicked it back, and the arriving McTominay sliding in could only shovel it, I think, into the defender. Took a deflection, which took it over the top by a distance actually. But I think the officials, having thought about it, have said the final touch was McTominay, so it is a goal kick.
So much better though. Amrabat in the middle of the park, just literally just going past two players, nice and strong, plays a little 1-2 with Hoyland, and then he just lets Anthony go. But he fizzes the ball into Anthony at pace. Anthony then one touch into Hoyland, back into Anthony, but it's Scott McTominay that commits himself and just doesn't get there. Good bit of defending, I've got to say. It was actually a defender onto Scott McTominay.
Yeah, which sent it high up and over the top. But that's excellent play from McTominay again. You know, it's almost as if he knows that he's had to provide something different. He's had to make himself into a player that Erik ten Hag can't leave out of the team. You know, he got those goals for Scotland. What is it? 6 goals he scored for Scotland in this year, 2023. 3 goals in his last 2 in the narrow wins against Brentford and Sheffield United in the last couple of Premier League games since they lost here, Manchester United against Galatasaray. But you know, that arriving into the penalty area, there's a few Manchester United midfielders who've done that over the years.
Oh yes, but there's a few here as well. I think Scott's doing the stuff that a lot of players don't want to do, the box-to-box stuff, but he's doing it well with quality, getting into goal-scoring positions too.
0-0, Manchester United 0, FC Copenhagen 0, and still 0-0, Sevilla Arsenal. And here's Harry Maguire, kept his place, rightly so, Dion, after the performance for Maguire at the weekend.
Listen, I like Harry Maguire. I just believe he's had a hard time. He knows he's having a hard time, but he's just trying to fight his way through it. He's a good footballer. In my opinion with Harry, move the ball quicker, Harry. Keep the fans off your back. Just do what you do. Just defend. That's what you're good at.
4th start of the season for Manchester United for Harry Maguire. 2 starts for England. Here's Amrabat in the centre circle. Back to Varane with his gloves on. Clocks go back this weekend, so the gloves are on. Maguire then works the ball towards the left-hand side. Reguilon comes deep. He's missed the last 5 matches, Reguilon. He's actually ill at the weekend, but he's recovered from a hamstring injury. Then Fernandes, back to Maguire, and then across to Varane. Erik ten Hag is standing there with his hooded coat, his black coat on the halfway line, now pointing out onto the field as Manchester United have it with then number 11, Rasmus Højlund, and then back to Varane again on the halfway line. Varane goes for the long ball over the top through the middle, but that's over the top of Højlund and just bounces harmlessly through to the opposing goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think when you've got that much time on the ball on the halfway line, Varane's looking for a movement, looking for some run, but you know, it's just far too slow. Højlund tries to make a run, straight ball, straight run, very rarely works. Keeper's waiting for the overshot ball.
It is still Dundee 0, Ross County 0 in the only match in the Premiership tonight, so no score there. But it is now Harrogate Town 0, Mansfield 3. And also in League 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Stevenage 1, and Blackpool now 3-0 up on Cheltenham. So Copenhagen in possession in front of their own penalty area. FC Copenhagen, winners of the league for the last 2 seasons. Even though they were only formed through a merger in the early 90s, they've won the league a record 15 times now. Likewise, the Cup, which they won as well last season, a double, so a joint record 9 times they've won the Cup. You know, they are such a big fish in Danish football, but only once got through to the knockout stages of the Champions League, the only Danish side to do that. Ball played forward for them from the halfway line for El Yunusi, but it bounces away to Maguire, who turns it up the line and out of play for a throw-in to the visitors, which will be taken by Ankersen, the right back. Back to Leicester, 1-0 up on Sunderland. Last we heard, Betty Glover.
And it's still that score, although Sefi Mavididi nearly doubled Leicester's lead. Great chance, got the ball onto the edge of the box, beat his defender, rolled it onto his left foot, took a shot towards the bottom left, but it was well saved by Patterson in goal, who got his leg to it. Still, Leicester 1, Sunderland 0.
El Yunusi battling for it in the Manchester United left-back area, but Maguire comes in. Reguilon was already there. Maguire takes the ball away. It bounces up to Højlund on the halfway line. Rather awkward against Favreau. And then Rashford now challenging for it. Again, the bouncing ball. Højlund finds it's just touched out of play by Ankersen, who concedes the throw-in for Manchester United over there in front of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand. I have to say, I've not seen Sir Alex here tonight. So we'll just keep an eye out just to make absolutely certain of that. But supporters there in the 3 tiers of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand are way up, out of our sight, up into the gods, as Rashford over there on that side of the field plays the ball back towards the edge of the area. David Gill is one of the the men that I can see over the other side, close to where that wreath is on Sir Bobby Charlton's seat. David Gill, such an important part, will have worked so closely with Sir Bobby over the years in his time as director. I must say, Dion, I always remember seeing him when he'd go away with Manchester United for Champions League matches, and Bobby Charlton invariably going with the travelling party would actually kind of join in with training, even in his later years. The ball was sent forward for Manchester United, but Angerson was able to chest that down. Here's Amrabat fighting for it, centre field, comes out with the ball against two opponents. Now Anthony on the right-hand side. Anthony running at Yela, comes infield, left-footed ball into the box. Hoyland gets there first, plays it back out to the right-hand side. Dalot is there in the full-back position, but the ball's stationary at his feet. Dalot then plays it back behind Varane, and the final ball wasn't there for Manchester United. They look well drilled, don't they, Copenhagen?
Yeah, they do. They know exactly what they're doing. They're getting into a 4-5-1 at the moment, making it difficult for United. Not enough movement for me. Player on the ball is looking up. No red shirts really showing themselves. That's why it's going from the right back all the way across centre halves to the left back, and it's happened 2 or 3 times already.
Yeah, Copenhagen look like a team. They know their jobs, know their roles. When they come forward, they absolutely commit to it. And they know against Manchester United, they just drop back in, which is what they're doing now. We can clearly see the lines as Yela wins a header, but it bounces away from back into his own left-back position. Anthony's chasing him, and Yela plays it off the Brazilian. In fact, it went straight out. It is a throw-in to Manchester United. Dalot takes that. It had a hint of foul throw about it from Diogo Dalot, but it's allowed to plays allowed to continue. Amrabat back to Maguire in the centre circle, and then Varane closed down quickly by Achuri. Diogo Dalot, that was a heavy touch, and then Achuri has to play it into him, and it's out of play for what he's given us a throw-in to Copenhagen near the halfway line. Manchester United, we've said it all season, lacking inspiration, lacking a spark, lacking creativity.
Yeah, and it's happened all season. The player on the ball is looking for somebody or something. He needs 3 or 4 options. Not happening at the moment. If you keep hold of the ball, the player you're trying to pass to is going to get marked, so move it quickly. Move the opposing side about.
Manchester City come here on Sunday. You'll hear that on 5 Live, one of our 7 Premier League commentaries this weekend, whether it's on 5 Live Sports Extra or online. And Manchester United, Manchester City is one of them. There's also going to be a Bobby Charlton tribute before that match as well, a period of applause before the match, and I'm sure other things planned as well. As I say, such a figure of Manchester, never mind Manchester United, as the ball is chipped away by Ankerson for Copenhagen. Already over the half hour here, as Klaassen goes over on the halfway line, but I think he just lost his footing, so Manchester United come through the middle. Ball runs to Hoyland on the edge of the box. McTominay tried to find him, but it's slightly behind him. And then Amrabat's ball forward just overhits, and it's all the way through for a goal kick to Copenhagen.
Yeah, I think Scott McTominay was actually looking to try and find Hoyland, and then as he was taking time trying to find that pass, his opposite number just nipped in and just towed it away from him.
Half-time's whistles going in the 7:45s when I'll run you through them all when we get all of the half-time scores in. Manchester United with Rashford going back towards Maguire, who just lifts a ball right-footed. Hoyland, but he's beaten in the air by the towering Favreau, the Slovakian international, and it's out for a throw into Manchester United on the far side. And it goes back to Maguire, who chests it down, playing as the left-sided central defender with Varane to the right. And Varane now, Champions League winner, 4 times over with Real Madrid. Right-footed ball out to the far side. Rashford does well, wins a header to Bruno Fernandes, left corner of the penalty area. Then back to Rashford, who turns, but Rashford loses out. They were tight on him, they watched him well, and they took the ball away from him. And now it's with El Yunusi on the far side, but all the way back in the end to goalkeeper Grabara, who clears towards the halfway line. Amrabat stretching for it. Klaassen plays it square. Now Gonçalves over the halfway line, and he has the option of Yelat on the left, but Gonçalves just checks back, slows the momentum of the attack. Falk with his hair tied back actually some of it coming away, so he's got that sort of aging rocker look about him. Falk to the right-hand side, much like yourself, Dion.
Yes, I wish.
Yeah. smooth jazz.
That's me.
Yeah. They go back towards the halfway line. Yearlad across towards Vavro, who chests it down, and it's back to Grabara. They certainly don't look cowed. Copenhagen coming here to play against Manchester United as a club, never won in England. They have beaten Manchester United the last time they were in the Champions League group together. That was a long time ago. And this current incarnation of Copenhagen, there's a bit of belief about them, no question. As the ball is played by El Yunusi by a deflection out of play for a throw near the halfway line. So still 0-0 here at Old Trafford. And what's the latest on Sevilla Arsenal? Conor McNamara.
Half-time approaching, just over 8 minutes to go. Still 0-0. Concern for Arsenal fans, though, because Bukayo Saka, who you might remember was injured in the Champions League game against Lens in France, he's gone down heavily after trying to beat a defender and having his ankle caught in the air. Lengthy treatment on the pitch. He's hobbling on. Teammates haven't really passed the ball to him in the last few minutes, but he doesn't look comfortable. It's certainly a concern for Arsenal. Saka not moving comfortably. Seville 0, Arsenal 0.
Third goal in the first half for Cardiff City in the Championship. Yakou Mete has made it Huddersfield Town 0, Cardiff 3. 0-0 here in the Champions League at Old Trafford on 5 Live and Radio Manchester. McTominay 30 yards out, gives it to the left-hand side to Rashford. Rashford looking for Reguilon on the overlap. Reguilon's left-footed cross. McTominay underneath it, heads it up, a sort of ballooning header under pressure, well wide and high of the top left corner.
Yeah, I'm expecting Scott McTominay there to hit the target at least. It was the wrong run. He got there at the right time, but it was the wrong kind of header. He's just got to punch that one. He doesn't have to do too much with it, too much on it himself. Wrong part of the forehead. In his form, I'm expecting him to hit the target at least.
Yeah, that as the move was developing there for Manchester United, Reguilon lifting over the ball, but as Dion said, we know a thing or two about timing a header in the air. He simply didn't time it. And now Klassen, the Swedish international, to the left-hand side to Achuri. Achuri has got support behind him from Leiraga. It goes square to Gonçalves. Gonçalves, ball over the top end of the penalty area, but actually it was Rashford who was back in there to turn and clear it away. And they come again, Copenhagen. Vavro goes for an early ball across the penalty area towards the back post. No one there in a blue shirt of Copenhagen, so Gallo was able to see it back to Onana, who cleared to the halfway line. So Dion Dublin with us here inside Old Trafford, and you'll hear from Steve Bruce at half-time on 5 Live, who's with us in the studio with Kelly Cates this evening. Ball out of play for a throw-in that's given Manchester United's way, and that's annoyed the Copenhagen supporters, and indeed Jakob Næstrup, their coach as well, who's made his first appearance on the edge of the coaching area, and the fourth official is telling him to calm down. Reguilon plays it infield towards Maguire, and then Manchester United inside their own half. Varane back to Onana, left-footed clearance from him. Long down the middle, which bounces up for McTominay, who heads it back, and McTominay is going to have to get there himself. He does. To hook it out towards the right-hand side, just down in front of us here. Anthony juggling the ball, and then Amrabat behind him. Amrabat loses out, took on Gonçalves, but Falk was there behind him. This is good from Copenhagen. They've had a very good first half here. Manchester United have created the odd opportunity, but Copenhagen bringing it forward again. And now Leiraga to the right back, Ankersen, who's taking it on, but Rashford tries to check his progress, but he's done very well, Ankersen. He's taken it round Rashford and played it towards the edge of the area. Achuri back centrally to Gonçalves. Achuri 30 yards out. Back it goes to Falk, closer to the centre circle. Now Manchester United are back in position, and it goes back into the centre circle. Really, in all honesty, there's not a great deal between the two teams.
No, there isn't, but Copenhagen in possession look a little bit more comfortable, making the right runs. I love the way that El Yunusi and Achuri are very close to Klassen when the ball goes into the centre forward.
Here's Achuri again, does well, takes, oh lovely, beats McTominay, shoots low, but Onana's able to allow that to roll wide of his near post. But excellent work from Achuri, the Tunisian international, again French born, So half-times in the Championship, it is Huddersfield 0, Cardiff 3, Millwall 1, Blackburn 1, Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 0, Swansea 0, Watford 0, and the other two matches are 8 o'clock kickoffs. League 1 half-times to come. Manchester United playing the ball out from the back. Gallo to Varane. There are Copenhagen players there with the press, and Dion, you're looking as frustrated as many of the Manchester United players as Gallo has to win himself a throw-in.
Yeah, I'm wanting United to play fast. I've said it many times, but they don't have an option. The player on the board doesn't have an option. Therefore, you get marked. You make it a 50-50 when you pass the ball to your teammate. I was told many times, John, pass the ball on, pass the time on. The quicker you pass the ball, the more time you give the player to receive it.
Here's Ankerson playing it forward, but Manchester United win it back, bounces away off Rashford, but the referee spotted an infringement. In fact, I think the ball perhaps went out of play. It did on the far side. These are half-time scores then in League 1. Barnsley 2, Shrewsbury 0, Blackpool 3, Cheltenham 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Stevenage 1, Cambridge United 0, Portsmouth 0, Carlisle 0, Burton 1, Derby 1, Exeter 0, Lincoln City 1, Charlton 1, Northampton 0, Leyton Orient 1, Port Vale 0, Peterborough 1 still playing, Wigan 1, Oxford 0, Wickham 0, Bolton 2, and Reading 0, Fleetwood 1. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff at Reading. As Favreau, under pressure from Rashford, hacks the ball left-footed out of his penalty area for a throw-in.
Yeah, but John, that's the first time you've seen a forward-thinking player really want to close somebody down. Højlund early on with the keeper. Well, Favreau there being put under pressure by Marcus Rashford just cleared the ball. If we do that more, we'll win the ball back in the final third.
Manchester United 0, FC Copenhagen 0. 5 minutes to go to half-time. As Varane hits a shot, a pass that is way Nana it was, and Nana hits a pass that is, I mean, that is 20 yards above the nearest Manchester United player, straight out of play.
Yeah, the margins get smaller the more time you take on the ball. That's the problem that United are having at the moment. They just need to pop it about. Copenhagen are doing it better at the moment, working a little bit harder. But we have the better quality on the pitch, so we should be doing it better.
Also, when you see a Nana hitting a pass like that, you know, the much vaunted goalkeeper who's so good with the ball at his feet, that looks like it's in his head. And now it is Copenhagen, Jæler, playing it forward towards Gonçalves, and then in comes the challenge from Amrabat, who is one Manchester United player who's covering a heck of a lot of ground, Amrabat, but it's out for a throw-in. Half-time scores in League 2, Wimbledon 0, Accrington 2, Crewe 0, Stockport 0, and Doncaster 0, Salford City 2. More of them in a moment. But Copenhagen take this throw back towards the halfway line. Now Favreau, there's space on the far side for Ankerson if he wants to take this on, Ankerson. But he goes with a low ball through the middle that bounces back to Falk. And now Ankerson again, low ball in, but that's blocked by Reguilon, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side. So Doncaster 0, Salford 2, Forest Green 0, Barrow 2, Grimsby 1, Colchester 2, Harrogate Town 0, Mansfield 3, MK Dons 2, Bradford City 1, Morecambe 0, Tranmere 0, Notts County 2, Newport 0, Swindon 0, Gillingham 1, Walsall 0, Crawley 0, and Wrexham 1, Sutton 0. Ball over the top, through the middle, into the penalty area. Midfielder Lerager is after it in the box, plays it out to the right-hand side. Ankerson gets right underneath that pass to the far side of the penalty area. Achuri takes it down to the dead ball line with his right foot, played it to the dead ball line, but it just rolled over the line before he could get there, and it's a goal kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, Ankerson put snow on that one. It was so high. It really was a really difficult one to bring down. Elyounoussi trying to bring that one down and create something from that, but
it is goal kick to Manchester United, 0-0. Half-time, not far away. 2 minutes plus added time, and at the break we'll continue our countdown to the World Cup final, the Rugby Union World Cup final. We'll hear from Andrew Mertens and Bobby Skinstack, part of the Rugby Union World Cup daily that I was telling you about. Here's Favreau playing it to the right-hand side to Ankerson, still 0-0. Sevilla and Arsenal as well. Ball down the right, but Reguilon's going to get there, and I think he was tripped by Elyounoussi, who I don't think he thinks that. Elyounoussi was wagging his finger in the way that they like to do. Reguilon certainly went down in a way that he thought he would win the free kick, but I think the officials have gone with El Yunusi. It's only a throw in. Too dramatic from Region. And they got it right, didn't they? Throw-in taken by Copenhagen. You've got to look at the man who's going to disagree with me. Ball from Copenhagen into the penalty area. Hooked away. And then the shot deflected by Gonçalves. And that was McTominay who threw himself in front of it, deflected it wide of goal and behind for what is Copenhagen's 5th corner.
I'd never disagree with you, John. You got it absolutely spot on. I am slightly worried though the amount of corners that Copenhagen are getting.
It's another disjointed Manchester United performance this season, and a season of disjointed performances. 0-0. Copenhagen with the latest corner. Oh, just had it away by Varane. Just got his head to that. And there were Copenhagen players all around him in this all dark kit, as Manchester United do bring it away. Now Region plays it through to Rashford, but Rashford has to slam the brakes on in the centre circle because it didn't have the required width on the pass, and so Vavro got there first and was able to clear it out for a throw on the halfway line.
So frustrated. That's the one. Marcus Rashford running through the centre of the pitch. Nobody with him at all. Put the ball in front of him. Play it for him, not to him.
But Region couldn't deliver. Now the ball on the right for Manchester United. Dalot. Then back to McTominay, just down here to our right. Bruno Fernandes misplaces his pass. He's been quiet, hasn't he, Bruno Fernandes, in the first half. And then Varane plays this out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United. So still 0-0. Stays like this, 1 point from their first 3 matches. Be a tall order for Manchester United, and actually, that's it. What on earth? I make it we've had 3 seconds of added time at the end of the first half. I thought those days were gone, Deal.
What was that? 3 seconds forward.
How does that happen? Anyway, probably best in the circumstances. 0-0, and not very good, certainly from a Manchester United point of view.
No, really poor actually, United. Very poor, quite passive as well. I mean, the physical contact isn't there either. Don't really want to put their bodies on the line tonight. It's a really poor performance from United. Copenhagen, by far, in my opinion, the better side, looking more capable of scoring, and worried.
So hopefully better to come in terms of the action. Copenhagen had that big early chance. Gonçalves, the shot against the outside of the post. You know, there've been opportunities for Manchester United, but as I said, towards the end of the first half, it just is disjointed again. And Manchester United 0, FC Copenhagen 0 is the half-time score here at Old Trafford.
John Murray, Dion Dublin, thank you very much. Steve Bruce is also with us. We'll get his thoughts shortly, but there's been a goal in the game between Sevilla and Arsenal. Conor McNamara.
And it is a goal for Arsenal. They have scored deep in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Gabriel Martinelli played through one-on-one, kept his cool to veer around the goalkeeper and to slide it into the empty net. It's a great time to score. There were 4 minutes added on for stoppages at the end of the first half, and it's come in the final minute of those 4. Rakitic giving the ball away in midfield and punished. Martinelli, who's not seen much of the ball in the game, but has had 2 of the biggest chances. The first of them came off the leg of the goalkeeper. That one, crucially, has gone in, and Mikel Arteta's team lead in Spain. Sevilla 0, Arsenal 1.
Conor, thank you very much. Great end to the first half then for Arsenal, who lead, as Conor was saying, by a 0-0 at Sevilla, but a very disjointed and lacklustre first half from Manchester United. It's goalless for them against Copenhagen at half-time. Steve Bruce, fair to say that wasn't the game that you were expecting to see from Man United's point of view?
I think they'll be bitterly disappointed of what the performances. I mean, they haven't moved the ball quick enough. They haven't. You're right in the word you use, disjointed, because for me, the balance of the team. I mean, we haven't seen Bruno Fernandes in the game at all, who's arguably United's threat from the midfield area to make things happen. But we haven't seen really any of it. They must play quicker. They have to up the tempo. They have to move the ball quicker. To me, they're too static at the moment, and they have to find a way of trying to find because teams are going to defend against them the way Copenhagen are. Every team's going to be now well disciplined, difficult to play against, difficult to beat, but Manchester United have to do more with the ball and be a bit more creative, and we haven't literally seen enough.
The half-time whistle has gone in Seville. It's Sevilla 0, Arsenal 1. Conor McNamara.
Yes, it's a game that really has tilted into Arsenal's favour just before half-time. That goal from Gabriel Martinelli, the last Champions League game in this group, and Arsenal were beaten in Lens. That's been the only match they've lost in all competitions this season. Hasn't been Arsenal's best. There were two minor errors from David Raya to keep the goalkeeper in the spotlight. He got away with them both. There was two Arsenal chances of note before the goal. Tomiyasu from the edge of the penalty area struck narrowly wide. Martinelli was denied by the goalkeeper's legs. And two moments of concern as well during that first half for Arsenal fans. Both Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli had lengthy periods down injured. They both received treatment. Both appeared to be for ankle issues. Both have been able to continue, and of course Martinelli showing a clean pair of heels, dancing through the Sevilla defence to go around the goalkeeper and score. Sevilla did not have a single shot on target in that first half. They had a free kick from Sergio Ramos, the veteran defender who's making his 140th appearance in the Champions League. That free kick was off target. Only Cristiano Ronaldo, Leo Messi and Iker Casillas now have played more Champions League games than Ramos, and Sevilla have 45 minutes to try and catch up here. Sevilla 0, Arsenal 1 for now.
Conor, thank you very much. John Bennett is across everything else in the Champions League, and Arsenal only managing to shade it with that late goal in the first half, John, and there's not been many goals anywhere in the Champions League in the 8 o'clock kickoffs.
Only one goal in the 4 games that I'm watching, and it's in Group C. Braga 0, Real Madrid 1, a goal from Rodrigo set up by fellow Brazilian Vinicius Junior, sliding finish on the 6-yard line. Only his second goal of the season, his first in 12. A player who's been really criticised by the media this season. Real Madrid getting the job done. In the same group, Union Berlin 0, Napoli 0. Really amazing atmosphere at the Olympia Stadion. And Union, who have lost 8 games in a row going into this game, have been the better side. They had a goal disallowed. It was a real shame because it came after a superb run by David Datro Fofana, who's on loan from Chelsea. In Arsenal's group, in Group B, really poor game. Lens 0, PSV Eindhoven 0. PSV missing one of their key players, Noah Lang, and it shows. They've won 9 out of 9 in the league this season, but still waiting for their first Champions League win of the campaign. And last but not least, in Group D, Inter's group, Benfica 0, Real Sociedad 0. Both sides have had a goal disallowed in this one. Benfica under pressure. They've lost both of their games so far.
John, thank you very much. Busy night in the EFL as well. Big game in the Championship between the leaders Leicester and Sunderland. Betty Glover's watching.
At half-time, it's Leicester 1, Sunderland 0. Absolutely great game this, Kelly. Sunderland were the better team for the first 10 minutes before Leicester scored in the 12th minute. James Justin with a header at the near post, his first league goal since February 2021. Leicester nearly made it 2-0 through Ian Nacho, who was in on goal, took a shot, but Patterson got his fingers to it. Leicester just looked so dangerous. Sunderland aren't out of this, though. They've had 2 big chances before the break, the best coming from their man of the moment, Jack Clark, who took a shot from the edge of the box, but it was well saved. A local journo said to me earlier, this is comfortably the least amount of control that Leicester City have had in a game so far this season, so should be a very interesting second half. Leicester 1, Sunderland 0.
Betty, thank you very much. Let's take you through what's happening elsewhere in the EFL, starting with the rest of the games in the Championship, where at half-time it's Huddersfield 0, Cardiff 3, Millwall 1, Blackburn 1, Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 1, Swansea 0, Watford 0, Leicester, as we've heard, 1-0 up against Sunderland, and West Brom 0, QPR 0. In League One, it's Barnsley 2, Shrewsbury 0, Blackpool 3, Cheltenham 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Stevenage 1, Cambridge 0, Portsmouth 0, Carlisle 0, Burton 1, Derby 1, Exeter 0, Lincoln 1, Charlton 1, Northampton 1, Leyton Orient 1, Port Vale 0, Peterborough 1, Wigan 1, Oxford 0, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Bolton 2, Reading 0, Fleetwood 1, and in League 2, Wimbledon 0, Accrington Stanley 2, Crewe 0, Stockport 0, Doncaster 0, Salford 2, Forest Green Rovers 0, Barrow 2, Grimsby 1, Colchester 2, Harrogate 0, Mansfield 3, MK Dons 2, Bradford 1, Morecambe 0, Tranmere 0, Notts County 2, Newport 0, Swindon 0, Gillingham 1, Walsall 0, Crawley 0, Wrexham 1, Sutton 0. And in the National League, Fylde 2-0 up against Oldham. It's Aldershot 2, Maidenhead 2, Altrincham 1, Kidderminster 1. Goalless between Barnet and Solihull Moors. Bromley 1, Dorking 1, Chesterfield 1-0 up against York. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Boreham Wood 2, Eastleigh 0, Woking 1, Halifax 2, Hartlepool 1, Rochdale 2, Gateshead 0, Southend 2, Ebbsfleet 0, and Wealdstone 2, Oxford 1. There is one game in the Scottish Premiership as well, where Dundee and Ross County is goalless. They're into the second half in that one. Coming up, we'll have second half commentary of Manchester United against Copenhagen. No goals as yet in that one. We'll keep you up to date with Arsenal's game at Sevilla as well, where they're leading by a goal to nil, and we'll start our build-up to the Rugby World Cup final after the BBC News with Anna Preston.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
President Biden says humanitarian aid for Gaza is not getting into the territory fast enough after the main UN agency there said it would run out of fuel tomorrow, making it impossible to maintain relief efforts. Israel's been refusing to allow fuel into Gaza, saying it could be commandeered by Hamas. A UNAID spokeswoman said 20 lorries waiting to deliver aid today had not entered the territory. Brian Lander from the World Food Programme says the situation in Gaza is going to worsen significantly.
People are in desperate need of water, desperate need of food, desperate need of all those things that are primary for your survival. And yet the crisis continues without our ability to reach them. So the situation is as bad as we've seen anywhere in the world, and we know in the next days it's going to be very tragic for many.
The Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen has cancelled a meeting with the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres after he told the Security Council that the Hamas attack did not happen in a vacuum. Israel's called on Mr Guterres to resign. An inquiry into how the Scottish Government responded to COVID-19 has begun its first main evidence phase in Edinburgh. The chairman, Lord Brailsford, urged witnesses, including the families who lost their loved ones, to be brutally honest. Alan Ingalls' son, Callum Ingalls, died after he caught the virus while in prison.
2 years today, my son was found unresponsive in the cell. He died alone, without help, without dignity. The Scottish COVID inquiry must find out which protocols the prison were following at this time.
Tributes have been paid to the theatre producer and chairman of Everton Football Club, Bill Kenwright, who's died at the age of 78. Everton said it had lost a leader, a friend and inspiration. Bill Kenwright also produced more than 500 West End, Broadway and touring productions. And that's the latest news on 5 Live.
The natural world continues to surprise us. See mysterious creatures. Witness spectacular wonders. And see how animals are adapting in extraordinary ways to survive the new challenges they face.
Enter the new wild. Planet Earth 3. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live, your football station.
The UEFA Champions League.
With Kelly Cates.
Second half commentary from Old Trafford coming up very shortly, and we're just 4 days away from the Rugby World Cup final. Defending champions South Africa faced New Zealand on Saturday night. There's commentary from 8 on 5 Live. Andrew Mertens, finalist with New Zealand in 1995, and Bobby Skinstad, winner with South Africa in 2007, have been discussing one of rugby's greatest rivalries with Sarah Orchard on the Rugby Union Daily podcast.
When it comes to the rivalry there is between South Africa and New Zealand, can you guys believe this is only going to be the second time they've actually met in a final?
It's extraordinary. I mean, you always, as a South African, you always think of New Zealand as a World Cup rival, you know, and obviously sometimes you've got to take them in a knockout or a quarterfinal or a pool game. So be it, but it's weird. It's almost like every World Cup feels like you might have met them somewhere, but it hasn't been a final for so long.
We played in the rubbish final in '99. I don't know, Bob, were you playing at that stage?
The third and fourth, the bronze playoff.
I think Steve Hansen described it as like open mouth kissing your grandmother. It's not a game that anyone wants to play, particularly after being dumped.
Or anyone gets up for, is it? It's a tough game to be part of.
We couldn't even get the bronze that day. Actually, we came in fourth.
So 3 apiece. New Zealand 87, 2011, 2015, South Africa 95, 2007, 2019. When you look through them, New Zealand went back to back. Is it important for South Africa to go back to back this week?
To be honest, looking at the last 2 weekends, the importance of the back-to-back is growing, because they've made some big decisions in the moment. You know, in these matches that they've won by a point each. You know, New Zealand in the semi-final were probably, in terms of New Zealand standards, at 85 to 90%. Argentina were a bit off their game, and New Zealand in the quarter-final were at 110%. They were imperious. You know, South Africa haven't quite reached that yet on this World Cup. They've ground out wins, and they've had to make big changes to affect big things happening in the games. And you've got to say that, you know, looking at going back to back, it's been part of the plan. They've wanted to be, and they've pulled out all stops to get there. And my goodness, they'll look at this week now and they'll say, well, we've made it by the skin of our teeth, but we've made it, and we've got a chance to do exactly that. And I know that the rivalry runs deep. These two countries that love and hate each other around this beautiful game so much. Our country looks at New Zealand and says it irritates us that they've been able to go back to back in World Cups.
You two, you're very calmly sat here at the moment. How are you going to be this week?
For me, nerves jangling. I know that the players feel it 100 times more, but I think as I get on and get older, I get so excited for them and what's in front of them. To be honest, I think to have New Zealand versus South Africa for us is a result that we're delighted. It's an age-old rivalry. It'll be a great match in Paris. I'm not going to say I don't care who wins, because I do care who wins, but it'll certainly be an occasion.
I think it's important for the sport that it's a gripping final.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying desperately, like I did before the Ireland game as well, tried to convince myself there was a bigger picture. I didn't really care. But it got to that last 2 or 3 minutes and my heart rate was sky high. I mean, you look at me now, I'm wearing all black kit only because I'm so horrifically superstitious. 2 weeks ago, I went on the first podcast I went on for the week, was wearing an all black kit because it was with I
hope you change your underpants.
No, well that's it. You become superstitious as a rugby player. There's a very fine line between routine and superstition, particularly as a goal kicker.
Yeah,
you know. So I'm wearing this only because I've done it for the last 2 weeks and it's worked for the All Blacks. So I'm desperate for it to happen again.
Andrew Mertens and Bobby Skinstad talking to Sarah Orchard there, looking ahead to the Rugby World Cup final. And they're both part of our commentary team on Saturday at the Stade de France, along with England World Cup winners Martin Johnson and Matt Dawson. That's from 8 o'clock on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Also commentary from 8 on Friday of England's third place playoff against Argentina, with all the build-up on the Rugby Union Daily podcast on BBC Sounds. We're going to head straight back to Old Trafford now for the second half of Manchester United against Copenhagen in the Champions League. Regular updates from Sevilla against Arsenal. Arsenal 1-0 up thanks to a late goal in the first half from Gabriel Martinelli, but still goalless at Old Trafford. Taking you through the second half and with news of a change for Manchester United, Dion Dublin and John Murray.
Yes, thank you, Kelly. Welcome back. Manchester United 0, FC Copenhagen 0, and that poor first half sees the Dane, Christian Eriksen, come on to take on the Danes. And it's Amrabat who makes way. So Eriksen on for Amrabat. I mean, it was quite a difficult call, Dion, to predict what change Erik ten Hag was going to make. So what do you make of that? Eriksen for Amrabat.
Yeah, any of those players could have come off that first half. They were all poor, didn't really contribute anything to the first half at all. Need to be better. This is a test of character as well as quality of player. Have you got the character to step out of your zone and make things happen? Talk to your teammate, demand.
And welcome back as well inside Old Trafford to Radio Manchester listeners joining us on 5 Live. Manchester United making the change. And this is a big half for Erik ten Hag, I think, to see what he can do, what he has said, whether he's changed anything else in the first half. I think it's the mindset as much as anything that needs to change, as well as that one member of personnel. But Christian Eriksen coming on, and Manchester United now with a Nana in goal, Dalot, Maguire, Varane and Reguilon. Then Christian Eriksen, McTominay, Fernandes, Anthony, Rashford and Højlund, as the ball is deflected out for a throw-in to the home side. Red shirts, white shorts, white socks in front of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand. Copenhagen as they were, as you'd expect. Good first half for them. Grabara in goal, Ankerson, Vavro, Dixon, Yela to their back four. Then Leiraga, Falk and Gonçalves in midfield. El Younousi on the right, Achuri on the left, and captain Victor Claassen the furthest forward. But he's a little bit of a false number 9, really, Claassen. He's quite mobile, gets around the pitch. And here's Højlund for Manchester United on the left, whips the ball right across the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes arriving, Rashford arriving, neither of them can get a touch, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side.
It's a great little run. It's one of those balls just down the right-hand side of you. Højlund keeps himself between the man and the ball, rolls him, whips in a great ball. You need red shirts. Stay up with your centre forward. Get in the far post, Dallo. He's still out there on the touchline. More commitment needed by this everybody in a red shirt.
And just before 5 Live came back to us, Kelly was saying about the matches coming up. I mean, tomorrow night we've got Newcastle United against Borussia Dortmund. Alan Shearer is going to be alongside Ian Dennis for the commentary there. And having been at Newcastle against Paris Saint-Germain in the previous round of matches, I was thinking, do you know what I witnessed there at St James's Park that night was everything that this match hasn't been. Here's Bruno Fernandes, but it's up to Manchester United to change that. Bruno Fernandes, Reguilón now shoots, but he waited, he delayed on the shot, and in the end he did strike it, but a defender threw himself in front of it, deflected it up into the air, and through to the goalkeeper, who was able to take an easy catch into his chest.
Yeah, I think it was Leiraga that put his body on the line this time, making sure the keeper didn't have to make a save. Good, positive defending.
So Manchester United 0, FC Copenhagen 0. Yes, join us on 5 Live for that tomorrow night. Alan Shearer with Ian Dennis in 5 Live Sport. But tonight, Manchester United are trying to win their first point in this Champions League group. Bayern Munich have won tonight, so they are 3 wins out of 3 at the top of the table. There's a group with 3 other champions in it, as well as Manchester United, national champions, that is. And here is Achuri on the left-hand side. Achuri back to the corner of the penalty area. Ball deflected in, but goalkeeper Onana can come and gather that before El Yunusi can get anywhere near him, and he rather daintily throws it over the top of El Yunusi's head for Reguilón to take out towards the halfway line, but Reguilón's just weaving a run back into his own central area. So Eriksen, the shaven-headed almost Eriksen now, passes the ball to Varane, then out towards the right-hand side. Manchester United have to be less predictable. We heard from Steve Bruce on 5 Live as well at half-time, who was absolutely right, wasn't he, Dion, in terms of moving the ball faster. Just, so many areas where Manchester United have been short. Rashford, though, now in towards Reguilón, but it bounces away, and that will be picked up by goalkeeper Grabara on the edge of the box.
I think you can only play the ball quicker if you've got options for the person on the ball.
Well, Anthony's won it back here. Copenhagen lost possession, half inside their own half. Now it finds its way to Rashford. He's got Reguilón outside him. Rashford, and the ball's stationary at his feet. You can hear the reaction from the crowd. Then to McTominay. Little ball in towards Anthony on the edge of the area. Too congested in there. Too many of the all dark blue stroke black Copenhagen shirts, and El Yunusi's carrying the ball forward. Gives it to Klaassen. It's 2 against 2 here. Klaassen with the ball on the right. Klaassen's low ball back to the edge of the area. And the shot, is well saved by Onana. Diving to his right. Leiraga on the edge of the box in the D. Hit the shot. And diving to his right, Onana got a hand to that. Mind you, it very nearly bounced into the bottom corner, but it didn't. It bounced wide, so we'll give him credit for it.
Absolutely lovely little pullback from Klaassen there. You can see Leiraga just delaying his run into the box. Edge of the box, he's 20 yards out. It's going in the top corner. Great save from Onana. And they're all slapping Onana's hand. Come on, lads, you've got to do better defensively.
Corner then to Copenhagen, still 0-0. In towards the near post comes off Fernandes' head. Then it's headed back across goal by Klaassen. Still live, headed across the box, but McTominay gets his head to it for Manchester United. And they've been able to get it away. And Manchester United now, Højlund's been dispossessed. El Yunusi's got space on the right for Copenhagen. To the byline, chips it towards the back post. Volley! Blasted over the top by Achuri, who puts his hands to his head. It was a crowded 6-yard box. He was trying to find a way through, so he went for power, but he got underneath it, and it landed halfway up the lower tier of the east stand.
Yeah, it wasn't the right option. There was so many more options in the box. Dark blue shirts flooding in there. I think they overran the Man United shirts as well.
And it's the Copenhagen fans you can hear in Manchester United playing the ball out from the back, but they've been able to find Eriksen through the middle. And now Harry Maguire's carrying it on. Maguire keeping his place after his performance against Sheffield United on Saturday night. Maguire to Reguilón, but that's half-hearted ball infield towards Rashford. Højlund on the edge of the area, chests it down, could be in, pokes it goalwards, but I think it was going wide in any case. But Yelat got there to make absolutely sure and right-footed sweep the ball out for a throw-in near the halfway line. I mean, scrappy build-up there, it bounced hither and thither, and in the end, Højlund really made the chance for himself.
Yeah, he did, yeah, it was a lovely little header down to him on the edge of the box. Højlund looks like he was going to chest it in front of his defender, stepped behind him and just chested it behind his defender. Lovely little bit of skill, but just couldn't get enough on it to nudge it past the keeper.
Manchester United come again. I think VAR had a little look there because Højlund might have been tugged back. I think it was Favreau, the central defender, but they've had a look and it's been quickly dismissed, I assume, because play continues. Manchester United 0, FC Copenhagen 0. Arsenal still winning 1-0 with that goal right at the end of the first half from Martinelli in Spain against Sevilla, winners of the Europa League last season, which got them into the Champions League this season. Ball in the right back area, which is volleyed away towards the halfway line. In the Championship, Cardiff City now winning 4-0 at Huddersfield Town. Perry Ng has scored the latest goal for Cardiff. It's also Millwall 1, Blackburn 2. Callum Britton with the second goal for Blackburn there. Middlesbrough winning 1-0 at Norwich City. Middlesbrough, who are going for what would be a 7th win in a row in all competitions. Sam Greenwood scored their goal just at the start of the second half. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Still Swansea 0, Watford 0, West Brom 0, QPR 0, and Leicester winning, as we heard from Betty Glover. Here is Reguilon, 0-0 here at Old Trafford. Bruno Fernandes finds the pass to Rashford, who takes on Ankerson and gets the ball across towards the penalty spot. Eriksen's low shot, what a save by Grabara! Down to his right, the Copenhagen goalkeeper kept it out brilliantly, and on the follow-up there, Reguilon sliding in, could only slide it behind, and it's a goal kick. But Grabara has kept this team level.
What a save that is. Great work from Marcus Rashford, pulling it back. Lovely touch from Højlund. And Eriksen just trying to steer it into the corner where Grabara had already come from. He lifts his feet up out the way and just drops that right hand. It's a lovely save. Really is a very good, strong hand.
Brilliant save. He wears a blue mask to match his kit. Grabara, the Polish international, and that would be right up there. If he wasn't already bound for Wolfsburg, if he was thinking about his move, his people would be putting that straight on the show reel, wouldn't they? There's been another goal in the Sevilla-Arsenal match. Conor McNamara.
Big goal this for Arsenal. It doubles their lead early in the second half. Gabriel Jesus from tight against the byline on the left. One little touch to weave him into something like a shooting angle. He whipped it across the goalkeeper into the far corner. Excellent finish from the Brazilian, who's now scored in all 3 of Arsenal's Champions League games this season. Sevilla nil, Arsenal 2.
Rashford now into the penalty area. The goalkeeper comes out. He slid in on him. Now there seemed to be contact. There seemed to be contact on Rashford. The ball had gone, but the referee says, or was the offside flag up? It was. The offside flag was up against Rashford, and it is a free kick to Copenhagen. Otherwise, I think that would have been a penalty, Dion.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Marcus Rashford, I'm having a look at this here. Yeah, oh, it's a tight one, isn't it? That back leg as well. It's a hard one to call from the angle we have, however. I think that would have been a penalty, yeah.
But the offside was given. And here comes Bruno Fernandes, who very nearly plays the ball through the middle. And suddenly now, Manchester United, we're seeing a little bit more.
They're creating chances because they're moving the ball quicker. There's a bit more urgency as well. I think Eriksen's made a difference in the middle of the park as well, forcing players to go forward.
Very good result currently for Arsenal. That winning 2-0 against Sevilla is not to be sniffed at. Martinelli and Jesus. Still Lens 0, PSV 0, I think, in the other match in that group. And it is Copenhagen who have the ball in the centre circle. In fact, PSV are winning 1-0 in France against Lens. Bruno Fernandes now plays the ball down the right-hand side for Anthony. Anthony up against Yelat, does well with his left foot, gives it to the advancing Bruno Fernandes, who is challenged inside the penalty area, and the final touch is off the Manchester United captain and behind for a goal kick. 0-0, Dion Dublin.
He just couldn't sort his feet out there. Lovely ball into Anthony. Set Anthony way down the right-hand side. He gets level with the edge of the box, gives it back to Bruno, and he just couldn't sort his feet out to flash a ball across for Højlund. Better, so much better from United in the last 5 minutes.
We are operating a 5 Live final score tonight, incidentally, where you can listen to the commentary alongside the final score graphics and the video printout. Manchester United played forward for Rashford to chase onto into the penalty area. First touch was heavy, too heavy. That's taken it away from Rashford. And even as the goalkeeper came out, Grabara knew it was going behind. And I'm afraid that rather sums it up for Marcus Rashford for Manchester United this season.
Yeah, it's a good ball as well. I'm thinking Marcus Rashford's got the pace. It's now down to the composure, his first touch. Does he know what he's going to do before he gets to that point of making that decision? He's onside. It's just a very heavy touch, and Grabara gets there first and just basically runs over it to let it go out for a goal kick. That's a really good chance.
Still 0-0. Just over half an hour to go. To Leicester, Betty Glover.
Leicester 1, Sunderland 0. Two massive saves from Sunderland's keeper Patterson in quick succession. First a diving one to punch away a shot from Iheanacho, and the second getting his foot there to deny Cassidy, who should have done better. It's end-to-end though. Leicester only with 52% possession, which says a lot. Leicester 1, Sunderland 0.
Latest scores in League 1, Barnsley 2, Shrewsbury 0, Blackpool 3, Cheltenham 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Stevenage 1, Cambridge 0, Portsmouth 0, Copenhagen on the attack, and the ball comes off Rashford and is headed out towards the right-hand side to Ankerson, but Reguilon is able to hook it away and it bounces out of play. Continuing through League 1, Carlisle 1, Burton 1, Derby 1, Exeter 0, Lincoln 2, Charlton 1, Northampton 2, Leyton Orient 1, but Northampton down to 10 men, Port Vale 0, Peterborough 1, Wigan 1, Oxford 0, Wycombe 1, Bolton 2, and Reading 1, Fleetwood 1. Copenhagen with the ball with Ankerson, who plays it back towards the halfway line. It is still Dundee 0, Ross County 0 in the Premiership in Scotland. Oh, that's a poor pass from centre field from Dix, the centre back, and it's out of play for a throw into Manchester United deep inside their own territory. So in League 2, it's Wimbledon 1, Accrington 3, Crewe 0, Stockport 1, Doncaster 0, Salford 2, Forest Green 0, Barrow 2, Grimsby 2, Colchester 3, Harrogate Town 0, Mansfield 4, MK Dons 3, Bradford City 1, Morecambe 1, Tranmere 0, Notts County 3, Newport 0, Swindon 0, Gillingham 1, Walsall 0, Crawley 0, and Wrexham 1, Sutton 1, all the latest scores. And another goal in the Sevilla-Arsenal match. Connor.
Arsenal were 2 goals in front. It's now 2-1. Goodell has scored for Sevilla. A header from a corner from the right-hand side. Good delivery by Jesus Navas. He just got in behind Ben White to beat David Raya at the front post. Sevilla back in it. Arsenal thought they were away and going top of the group tonight. Still work to do. Half an hour to play. Sevilla 1, Arsenal 2.
Another chance for Copenhagen. Gonçalves on the edge of the penalty area. Took it onto his right foot, curling effort, but straight at Onana, who was able to pat it down in front of his face.
Yeah, I think a better touch there from Gonçalves, and he can curve it in the top corner. It's under his feet, he just can't direct it where he wants it to go. Straight down Onana's throat, luckily.
Yeah, comfortable save. Excellent moustache, Gonçalves, as Maguire brings the ball towards the halfway line, but then plays it to Varane, and Manchester United go back and looking at Varane there. He turns and looks at Maguire, and there's a sort of hand motion there, you know, saying to Maguire, no, that's not what I was after. Reguilon plays it up towards Højlund, deflected out of play by Vavro. Manchester United 0, FC Copenhagen 0. You know, do not discount the fact that Copenhagen could win this match. Entirely possible Manchester United, of course, could suddenly break through. We've seen them be more direct, more positive in the second half. But all the while, Copenhagen do carry that threat. And they do usually score, Copenhagen. scored in their last 17 away matches in all competitions. Garnacho is going to come on for Manchester United. Long ball forward for United, and that is headed behind by Yela. So it's a corner. Applause there for the intent and the intention. It was Gallo who's chasing it. Corner is taken quick. Headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Dix for Copenhagen. Reguilon then goes for an angled ball across the penalty area. That's headed up and out towards the edge of the penalty area. And then Klaassen for the visitors, but Eriksson is underneath that. Eriksson, the Dane in Manchester United clothing. Here he is again. Eriksson, right-footed, picks out Bruno Fernandes on the right-hand side. Bruno Fernandes drifting infield, left foot. Eriksson first-time touch, edge of the area, but it bounces away from Scott McTominay, but then given away by Copenhagen. There were Danish groans you could hear there from our visitors from Copenhagen, the Danish capital, to our right. It's going to be a double change. Lindelof is going to come on as well for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes now to the right. Anthony comes infield, left-footed curling effort, but curls up and over the crossbar. Grabara was backpedaling there, but he knew it was going to dip over under the roof of the net.
Yeah, lovely run around Anthony. By Gallo, didn't use him that time. Went for the curler, as we know he likes to do. Way off the mark this time.
So the double change, Dion, Lindelof and Garnacho coming on for Reguilon and Anthony, who, again, Anthony's just not really provided enough, has he?
No, he's had a lot of the ball, but there's no end product at the moment. He's looked so silky on the ball and his little step overs, but you need end product. When you play wide, you've either got to create or score goals. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, Anthony, 1 goal in his last 24 Manchester United appearances now. So Lindelof coming on the left side of the defence, and Copenhagen on the attack. Klaassen waiting near the penalty spot. Achuri with it. El-Yunusi waiting on the edge of the area as well. Back over towards the left-hand side, then comes back central to Dix. Then the other central defender, Vavro, who's going to try an effort from 40 yards, but Onana was able to go down to his right and make the save. Real Madrid are now winning 2-0 in Portugal against Braga, and Jude Bellingham has got the second goal. So Braga 0, Real Madrid 2. Actually, Braga have just got to go back as well. Braga 1, Real Madrid 2. But Jude Bellingham on the score sheet again. Wasn't he good last week against Italy?
Good. That's not good enough. What a player. What a player.
Yeah, youngest man in the squad. Here's Garnacho, who's on for Manchester United, the 19-year-old. Let's see what he can do. But Copenhagen dispossess him. And so Manchester United have got to come back as Copenhagen sweep forward centrally. Here's Achuri on the edge of the D. Achuri is being tightly watched, very tightly watched, illegally watched by Harry Maguire. It's a free kick, and Maguire's saying, well, he was pulling my shorts. And the referee, Marco Guida, says, well, you were pulling him. And it's a free kick that is given to Copenhagen centrally, 25 yards out.
Yeah, bit of both. They're both at it, to be honest with you. Harry Maguire got caught, that's it. Holding on to his arm. Yeah, there's a bit of both there, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But the referee deemed that to be Harry Maguire committing the foul first. So it's a free kick here. 0-0 the score. 25 minutes to play. Manchester United still pointless in this group. And Gonçalves is backing away and liking the look of this. Gonçalves with the white wristbands on. Comes up, strikes this into the wall, it bounces down and is just cleared away by Gallo. It very nearly bounced to Lerager, but Gallo was able to whack it out right-footed for a throw-in to Copenhagen on the left-hand side. And you can feel the tension. Copenhagen had an opportunity like that. Manchester United lost their last home game in the Champions League against Galatasaray. That was a topsy-turvy affair. 3-2 the final score. Copenhagen win another throw-in down the left-hand side. That was Manchester United's 20th home defeat in the various European competitions. Throw-in taken by Copenhagen. Now to the byline, and it's deflected behind. Varane got a touch on that, a toe end to it, which carried it behind after after Yealert's run into the box, the left back, as he is tonight. Corner to Copenhagen.
Yeah, I want to see more. I want to see more commitment from these Man United players. As it's 0-0, Copenhagen are well in this game, but put a bit more pressure on your teammate to do his job.
Doncaster 0, Salford 3 in League 2. Lens have equalised against PSV in the other match in Arsenal's group. Copenhagen corner into the near post. That's headed down for Manchester United by McTominay, and Bruno Fernandes is taking it away towards the halfway line. Needs a good pass through to Garnacho. Flag stays down. Garnacho overhits it. A heavy touch from Garnacho, and it bounced through to goalkeeper Gravara, where he was effectively one-on-one, and the flag did not go.
And that's the situation Man United find themselves in. Garnacho and Marcus Rashford, two really good chances, going at pace, making the right run. The ball's good as well. Now what do you do? How good are you to make this matter? Make it count.
So it remains 0-0. And for once there, Manchester United were on it. That was the pass from Bruno Fernandes. It was all up to Garnacho, who I thought might be saved by the offside flag, but it didn't come. I'm afraid that touch. So Garnacho now, Dion on the left-hand side, and Rashford's gone out to the right with Højlund through the middle since Anthony went off. But still 0-0. Derby winning 2-0 against Exeter now. Wigan 2-0 up on Oxford United. Also Watford winning 1-0 at Swansea. Ken Sema has given Watford the lead after their tight win against Sheffield United at the weekend. Watford winning away against Swansea. Lincoln 3, Charlton 1. Harrogate have got a goal back against Mansfield. Harrogate 1, Mansfield 4. Let's go back to Conor McNamara for the latest on the Sevilla-Arsenal match.
Into the final quarter of the match now. Arsenal still leading 2-1 away from home in Spain, but they've been given a huge scare. Mariano Diaz off the bench for Sevilla, taking the ball down, cracking in a shot that beat Raya but came back off the post. It wouldn't have counted. He had handled it as he controlled it, but a scare for Arsenal all the same. Sevilla playing much better now. Sevilla 1, Arsenal 2.
Union Berlin 0, Napoli 1. Raspadori, the Italian international, has scored for Napoli. So Napoli are winning, Real Madrid winning. They're the top two in that group. Wimbledon 2, Accrington 3 now. And it is Bristol Rovers 1, Stevenage 1. And Manchester United 0, Copenhagen 0. Here at Old Trafford on 5 Live and Radio Manchester from the BBC. Here's Rashford over on the right-hand side. Goes back into his own half to Varane. We are into the last quarter of this match now, this stuttering Manchester United performance against the Danish champions. Manchester United, if they don't win this, they're going to be right up against it in this group. Copenhagen have the ball back on the edge of their penalty area. And a left-footed ball towards the halfway line that's taken down by Gonçalves and played infield. And now Gonçalves making ground down the middle into the penalty area. His ball across, Lindelof came across and crucially got there before El Yunusi and was able to play it out for a throw on the far side.
That is far too easy. Copenhagen just playing through Manchester United's lines. One pass backwards, one pass forwards, and then they just leave it into an area. If it wasn't for Lindelof there, really coming off his left back spot, getting across the pitch, clearing the danger. Poor play from United, really poor play. Very good play though from Copenhagen, I've got to say.
And El Yunusi actually, Lindelof got there first and then he was fouled by El Yunusi, so that's a free kick to Manchester United in their own penalty area. It's been another one of those performances in a season of those performances for Manchester United. And you will hear their match live from Old Trafford on Sunday on 5 Live. Manchester United against Manchester City. Dalot now for Rashford. This is on the right wing. Rashford. Dalot on the overlap. Dalot clips it across to the near post where it's headed away for Copenhagen by Dix. Comes back to Garnacho in the box on the left-hand side, drives it across, comes off the head of the other central defender, Vavro, which took it up and over the top of the crossbar at the Stretford end. Corner Manchester United.
Yeah, good from Harry Maguire, just keeping that alive, getting his man out of the way, just keeping it alive to Garnacho, but more quality needed.
Yep, still, that's the case. Manchester United still searching for the breakthrough. In the last 20 minutes. Here's the corner of the near post. McTominay chasing it, headed away well though, well defended by Vavro. Another ball into the Copenhagen box. It's headed in. It's Maguire. Harry Maguire leaning forward and heading down and in. Well, that's the break Maguire needed. That's the break Manchester United needed. And they're 1-0 up on FC Copenhagen. My, what a struggle it's been, but they've got their noses in front.
I think that's all down to Christian Eriksen just putting a really dangerous ball in the box, not even looking for his teammate, puts it in there. Harry Maguire is stronger, he's taller, he wants it more than Falk, gets goal side of him, heads it down, skids off the turf, goes in at the far post. Well done, Harry Maguire, well done, Christian Eriksen, about time.
Great moment for Harry Maguire, but is it? Because VAR are having a look. It says on the screen on those very thin electronic boards halfway up the stands at Old Trafford, VAR check. So the question is, what? Was it a foul by Maguire in the build-up? It's Eriksen's ball in, or whether he's offside, but I think Maguire is onside. There are two United players who are in an offside position, but not Maguire, Dion. It's a goal.
Really good goal, you know. Well done, Harry Maguire. He actually kept it alive and he stayed forward as well.
So Harry Maguire makes it Manchester United 1, Copenhagen 0. Boy, did they need that. There was nothing special or clever or creative particularly about that goal. Lovely ball in by Eriksen, actually. Shouldn't play that down. But a central defender's header in the 6-yard box. But it doesn't matter for Manchester United right now in this run of form where they are at the moment, in this moment, as the Continentals say, as Eriksen commits a foul halfway inside the Copenhagen half. However it comes, they'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just Harry Maguire wanting the ball a little bit more, just a little bit of aggression and a little bit of I want that ball. It's been lacking in this game for Manchester United. Just one moment and it gets them a goal.
So 1-0 up as McTominay is tucked over by Klassen. Free kick to Manchester United halfway inside their own half. And now they have just over 15 minutes. 15 minutes plus added time to record their first win in this group. So having lost their first 2 matches, not many teams get through in the Champions League having lost their first 2 matches. It does happen. There have been quite a few instances. Tottenham did it. Actually, Tottenham did it the year they got to the final, lost their first 2 matches in the group stage of the Champions League. But if you lose your first 3, Lindelof now towards the edge of the area, McTominay at Hoyland turning nicely, gives it to Rashford. Rashford shoots across the box and it comes off the defender Yela and spins away towards the corner flag and out for another corner to Manchester United. Yeah, if you lose your first 3 matches, then you're pretty much dead. I think there have only been 2 occasions where a team has lost their first 3 matches in the Champions League and gone through. Newcastle were one of them, the first to do it. Corner from the right-hand side. You'll hear Newcastle, Borussia Dortmund live on 5 Live tomorrow night. Alan Shearer part of the team with the antennas. Bruno Fernandes then with this corner that dips into the near post and is cleared up in the air and then volleyed away towards the halfway line. Copenhagen are going to make a double change and they're going to bring on a different left back in Christian Sorensen and also Ori Oskarsson, who's one of their leading scorers this season. Scored a hat-trick in the qualifying rounds to help get Copenhagen to this position. They had to play 6 matches to get into the group stage this season, Copenhagen. Bruno Fernandes playing the ball into the box, comes back to Rashford on his right foot, snatched at it, and it's landed actually 3/4 of the way up the Stretford end. And here we'll see the changes now for these are the first changes that have been made by Copenhagen. Victor Klassen, the captain, is coming off, and so is Yelert, the left back. So Christian Sorensen will replace him, and referees. As I say, Ori Oskarsson, the 19-year-old Icelandic international who's coming on up front, the number 18. So the coach, Jakob Næstrup, bringing on a striker. More goals for you. Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 2. They are on course for 7 wins in a row. Silvera with that late goal. Also Blackpool 3, Cheltenham 2 in League 1. Wrexham now 2-1 up on Sutton in League 2. It's Crewe 0, Stockport 2. Wycombe 2, Bolton 3. Walsall 1, Crawley 0. And Wimbledon 2, Accrington 4 is the latest score at the Cherry Red Records Stadium, which I had the pleasure of visiting the other week for the very first time. 1-0, bringing back some memories of Wimbledon. It's not a crazy gang anymore, but it's a brilliant setup there, I must say. You had the pleasure to go to the new stadium?
I have, yes. What a place, yeah, really smart stadium.
Did you go in the pub? In the corner?
Well, I couldn't comment.
Did Dion Dublin go in the pub? What could possibly be the answer to that? Falk playing it through the middle. And then Achuri does well and is challenged by Bruno Fernandes. A legal challenge. Bruno Fernandes then, after McTominay rides a challenge. Bruno Fernandes through the middle to Hyland. And Hyland running from the centre circle. It bounces to McTominay. Then to Garnacho. Saved. Oh, and then shot wide by McTominay. As he arrived on it in the box. Goalkeeper did well, actually. Made a very good initial save. And managed to get up and do enough to put McTominay off. He had to go for the top corner and he shot wide.
I mean, it's a poor miss, to be honest with you. I think Garnacho has to score. He just puts it at the keeper. Doesn't put it either side of the keeper. It's on the angle, I know, but a player of that quality has to score. Scott McTominay puts him in. Marcus Rashford to his right. Which way do you go? Either way should have scored. 1-on-1 with the keeper. Not good enough, that. Might be costly, you know.
Right. I think last season Garnacho would have took that away. Well, the 2 chances that he's had, actually. But second season, when you've been the arriving force, but then having to back it up, a couple of opportunities for the substitute, and it remains Manchester United 1, Copenhagen 0. And actually, when you think about it, Grabara, the man in the mask, has made some very good saves this second half. That save from Eriksson was superb. And there, 1-on-1 came out, did everything right. This is the Wolfsburg-bound goalkeeper of FC Copenhagen, Polish international.
Well, they're the moments that you have to put in the back of the net in order to make your even a little bit more comfortable score.
But shall we respond? And he plays a 1-2 with Højlund. And then Garnacho's ball right across the 6-yard box. Rashford's actually kept it in over on the far side. Rashford, who is with Christian Sorensen, the substitute left back, takes the throw. Manchester United. And here's the goal scorer, the Manchester United goal scorer, Harry Maguire. Erik ten Hag showed faith in him tonight. Although I think Johnny Evans actually had a bit of an injury, didn't he? A foot problem, although he is on the bench. But Maguire plays and Maguire scores. As Manchester United come again, searching for that second goal that would surely bring them the 3 points. Eriksson on the edge of the box as well. Quick thinking to Lindelof. Lindelof played it behind Bruno Fernandes, who then commits a foul. And actually, that's a yellow card for the Manchester United captain, who was stretching for it. Just brought down El Yunusi, and I think the referee thinking that could have been Copenhagen breaking away there, so that's why the yellow card.
Yeah, I think Bruno Fernandes got a little bit on the ball, but you're always going to give that as a referee. He's away. El Yunusi is away, but no.
Well, the next match, Manchester United go to Copenhagen, the wonderful, as they say, Danish capital, to the Parken Stadium, which is a great place to go to. I've been there for a while, but it's really atmospheric. And this Copenhagen-style team will be a challenge to Manchester United there. In fact, I think everywhere Manchester United go. League Cup tie, Carabao Cup tie against Newcastle next week here at Old Trafford. The derby on Sunday, Fulham away, and Copenhagen coming forward now towards the edge of the box. Gonçalves plays it to the left-hand side. Clip ball across from Sorensen, comes out to Gonçalves, tried to feed it back into the penalty area, but it bounced away. And Bruno Fernandes was able to clear it away. I sense there could be some anxious moments in this last 10 minutes for Manchester United with this slender lead. And now, Gonçalves, ball into the penalty area, headed down. Varane, it's deflected back into the box and then cleared away by Gallo. I mean, there are alarms. You can hear them in the crowd. Here's Højlund, would love to get a goal tonight against the club where it all began, but he's provided a part in the build-up here. Rashford then into Bruno Fernandes, shoots from the angle, but deflected wide of the near post. His sliding defender took it wide, and it's a corner.
Yeah, brilliant work from Bruno Fernandes. Outside of the foot pass from the middle of the pitch to Marcus Rashford on the right wing. Takes one touch, and Bruno Fernandes is flying through the centre of the pitch. Runs past 4 dark blue shirts to get on the end of this. Lovely ball in from Marcus. And Bruno gets on the end of it, but it's deflected wide, the shot. Great work from Bruno Fernandes.
West Brom are now 2-0 up on QPR. Dejan Garner has got the second goal. Corner is taken for Manchester United. Ball in towards the edge of the penalty area. So QPR 2-0 down. That's going to be 5 defeats in a row, I think, for QPR. Full-time whistles will be going shortly. But Walsall won, Crawley won. They're still playing there. I'll run you through the full-time scores when we get a chance. But Garnacho is fouled, I think, by Ankerson. No, he's not. Referee says play on. And that's what they do. Garnacho gets back up to his feet. We've got 7 minutes to go. Jordan Larson is going to come on. Son of the King of Kings, Henrik. Jordan Larson, remember that little late career cameo that Henrik Larsson had here for Manchester United when it was all coming to an end. Great moment this for Jordan Larson, who'll be coming on shortly. What if he could get a goal? That would be a story. But Manchester United leading 1-0. 5 Live and Radio Manchester from the BBC. It is still Sevilla 1, Arsenal 2. Martinelli and Jesus, the goal scorers there. But Copenhagen now into the penalty area. It comes off Varane as the cross comes over from Gonçalves. Varane at the near post deflects it up and wide of his near post. And it is a corner. And Martial coming on for Manchester United as well. Again, Manchester United tested here.
Yeah, needed that touch as well from Varane. Oscarson was on his way in, that near post. Varane, nice touch over the box. Over the bar, should I say.
So it's a corner which is actually going to be taken from the right-hand side. And those Copenhagen fans there, I'd say 1,500, 2,000, they've been absolutely brilliant tonight and led the pre-match chant of "There's only one Bobby Charlton." If you've missed that, if you've joined us late, really touching tributes to Sir Bobby Charlton here tonight. A lone piper, replayed by Erik ten Hag. And the change, actually, Copenhagen are going to make the change before the corner is taken. They're going to get Jordan Larson onto the field. Gonçalves is coming off. Big chance that he missed early on in the match. But I think generally he's played well in the midfield.
I think the whole of the team have done well, I really do. There's only one goal in this. There really is.
So it's a corner to Copenhagen to be taken from the right-hand side. And Falk will take it. Rasmus Falk. Fair hair tied up. Left-footed ball into the 6-yard box is headed up and away by Rashford. Cleared the penalty area. And then Copenhagen go back towards the halfway line. So let's get an update on Sevilla Arsenal with Conor McNamara.
Closing stages now, just over 5 minutes of normal time to play. Arsenal still lead 2-1 as it stands, with the other game in the group in a draw. So we'll move to the top of the group this evening. The goals which came from Martinelli very early in the first half. The equaliser from Goodell has made Sevilla feel more brave, and they are throwing everything at this. But Sevilla 1, Arsenal 2 for now.
Thank you, Conor. Manchester United 1, Copenhagen 0. We're into the last 5 minutes. That's it for Marcus Rashford tonight. Martial coming on for Rashford beyond Dublin.
Yeah, it's. I think Marcus will be looking back, thinking I should have scored tonight. Oh, here we go. The referee, Marcus, has walked halfway towards the touchline, and the referee sending him back halfway the other side of the pitch. Just not happy at all. Or is it Højlund?
Oh, they've changed your plan. He's actually saying it's not you coming off. Well, it was a 10 that went up on the ball.
Absolutely.
But it's Højlund who makes way. Rashford stays on, and Martial is going to play through the middle. One of Erik ten Hag's questioners yesterday at his conference said, "Are you prepared to play Martial and Højlund together?" And he said, "Yes, it's certainly something that not tonight." Anthony Martial replacing Højlund. That's what he'll have dreamed about last night. Højlund getting a goal against Copenhagen with one of his twin brothers sitting watching on the bench. But not to be. But he'll take a win. And that's what they're getting at the moment. Full-time scores in the Championship. These are the 7:45 full-time scores. It has finished. Huddersfield Town 0, Cardiff 4, Millwall 1, Blackburn 2. So that is 3 wins in a row for Blackburn Rovers. It's 7 wins in a row in all competitions for Middlesbrough, who've won 2-1 at Norwich. So they've gone from bottom of the table to be interesting to see where they are now in the league table. They'll be on the edge of the playoff positions with what is 6 consecutive league wins. So Middlesbrough winners at Norwich. So Michael Carrick and Jonathan Woodgate have found something there. And also Swansea 0, Watford 1, and still playing. It's Leicester 1, Sunderland 0, and West Brom 2, QPR 0. You see QPR are down to 10 men in that match. Jimmy Dunn was sent off. And looks like Middlesbrough are going to be up till 7th as Eriksson plays the ball back towards Maguire on the edge of the box. That's the Championship, isn't it? Bottom of the table to 7th in the twinkling of an eye.
What a league that is, having played in it. Such a difficult league to get wins, never mind back-to-back wins and back-to-back wins.
Here is Garnacho on the left-hand side. Garnacho, he could have finished it off for Manchester United. Had the opportunities. Maguire going back to Onana. Pulls the ball onto his right foot. Long one through the middle, which will be deflected all the way through to Grabara. Dion, if Manchester United win this 1-0, make it 3 wins in a row, all narrow wins against what you would say would be inferior opponents. I mean, does this build confidence?
The result will, the performance won't. I think the performance has been okay. They've got over the line at the moment. They need to do a lot better though. The performance hasn't been great at all.
And on Sunday, one of our 7 Premier League commentaries this weekend on 5 Live or Sports Extra, or indeed online, you will hear Manchester City coming here to Old Trafford. Manchester United, Manchester City. 3:30 kickoff on Sunday. Don't get caught out by that. Our 3 o'clock commentary on Saturday is Arsenal Sheffield United. And Arsenal are still winning 2-1 tonight in the Champions League in Spain against Sevilla. As Connor said, that'll take them to the top of the group. Manchester United attacking down the right. Ball swept across towards Garnacho, but he allowed it to bounce and it bounced past him. And if he'd been able to take that on, he would have had a clear run in on goal, but he didn't, Dion.
Great work from Dalot down the right-hand side, and I'm thinking Dalot's played the perfect ball. It's bouncing on the edge of the box, on the edge of the corner of the D. Garnacho's waited for it to bounce over his head, skids over his head. The chance is gone. He's not confident.
Full times in League One: Barnsley 3, Shrewsbury 0, Blackpool 3, Cheltenham 2, Bristol Rovers 1, Stevenage 1, Cambridge 0, Portsmouth 0, Carlisle United 2, Burton 1, Derby 2, Exeter 0, Lincoln 3, Charlton 1, Northampton 2, Leyton Orient 2, Wigan 2, Oxford 0, Wycombe 2, Bolton 4, and still playing, it's Port Vale 0, Peterborough 1, and Reading 1, Fleetwood 1. We're going to see, well, one Højlund has gone off, and another Højlund is going to come on for Copenhagen, Oscar Højlund. Rasmus's 18-year-old brother is going to come on for the final moments of this match, as 4 minutes of added time will be played. Copenhagen are chasing the game, and they are chasing the game. Oscarson's already on, Larsson's come on, and now Oscar Højlund is coming on as well to replace Achuri. So the hope was, Manchester United supporters coming here, that Højlund would score another Champions goal this evening. They weren't planning on Oscar perhaps getting one, which would be an equaliser. So Oscar Højlund, number 39, blonde-haired, you probably won't be surprised to hear, and he takes up a position over on the left-hand side. with his brother watching with what I would describe as a thin smile on his face, obviously thinking exactly what I've just said.
Right smile, thinking, please don't.
Not today. Any other day. Score a hat-trick against Bayern Munich. Here's Garnacho coming in field. He's fouled by Oscar Højlund. He's upended. Garnacho glares at him. It's a free kick to Manchester United, but I don't think United will worry too much about that. We've already had over a minute of added time. On 5 Live, we'll have more from Steve Bruce, who's alongside Kelly, watching from afar. 5 Live on air until 10:30 tonight. We'll have all of the reaction. You hear all of the interviews as well in the 5 Live Football Daily in the morning from BBC Sounds. That's where you can listen back to the live radio as well. Listen back to any of our commentaries. Maguire, Manchester United's goal scorer, might be the match winner. Long downfield from him over the top of Garnacho, and it's out of play for a throw-in. 73,249 it was. I think many will remember the tributes to Sir Bobby Charlton tonight. I'm not sure too many in years to come will remember the match. 1-0. Lindelof playing it back to Maguire. Takes a touch with his left foot, then flights it forward with his left. That's one for Martial to chase. But Favreau gets there first and plays it across the penalty area. Full-time scores in League 2. Wimbledon 2, Accrington 4. It finished. Crewe 0, Stockport 2. Doncaster 0, Salford 3. Forest Green 0, Barrow 2. Grimsby 2, Colchester 3. Harrogate 1, Mansfield Town 4. Copenhagen play a long one over the top, which is headed back. The shot is blocked, might have bounced up and hit an arm inside the penalty area, but the referee says it's a Manchester United free kick. MK Dons 4, Bradford City 1. Morecambe 1, Tranmere 0. Notts County 3, Newport 0. Swindon 0, Gillingham 1. Walsall 1, Crawley 1. And Wrexham 2, Sutton 1. Also, it finished Dundee United 0, Ross County 0 in the Premiership in Scotland. Arsenal are winning. They are close to victory in Spain against Sevilla. And Manchester United are close to victory here against Copenhagen. But it's been a struggle. And I make it, we're in the 4th minute, the final minute of added time. And Copenhagen returning the ball to Grabara, who it should be said again has made important saves in the second half, as Oskarsson heads it on. Now the ball on the left-hand side. Copenhagen pouring forward with bodies inside the Manchester United box. It's worked across and it comes off Eriksson, who stabs it behind. Reaction really, it hit Eriksson as much as anything else and deflected wide of the near post as the ball came in. And it's a corner to Copenhagen right at the end. Dion.
Yeah, keeper's coming up as well. Grabara's up. The masked keeper's in. Last chance for Copenhagen, this.
The goalkeeper's come up. He's been a star tonight, Grabara. He's got his blue mask on. He looks like a superhero. Falk is going to take the corner from the left. Delivered towards the near post. It's deflected across. Oskarsson with a chance. Oh, McTominay with a challenge. It's a penalty. McTominay with a wild challenge. It looked like a foul. He stuck out a leg. And the Copenhagen player went down clutching his face, and the referee's given a penalty to Copenhagen in the 5th minute of added time. Yellow card for McTominay, penalty to Copenhagen. Real late drama in the Champions League here at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I think Scott McTominay just didn't see the Copenhagen player behind him. Just didn't see it at all. Lifts his foot up to do an overhead kick. I think it's Elyounoussi, I'm not quite sure. I think it's Elyounoussi in the face. Scott McTominay's doing an overhead kick and he just swings his foot. Doesn't catch him. Dangerous play maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Well, I think this will stand.
VAR are checking it. Whether there's something else in there. I mean, it was a real scramble in the box from the corner. Oscar Højlund sort of hooked it across goal. And as Dion Dublin describes, Elyounoussi sort of came from the blind side of McTominay, and as McTominay was looking to try and lift the ball away from the miss-hit shot from Højlund, he caught Elyounoussi. I mean, my feeling, having seen it, we've seen it on our television screen as well, the referee is saying, yes, it is a penalty. And it's the cheers from the Copenhagen players that you can hear. So a chance right at the end here. Right at at the end of the match. And I think it's Jordan Larson who's been given the ball. It is. Well, what a story this is. Jordan Larson, the son of Henrik Larsson, in what is now the 6th minute of added time at the end of the match. Henrik Larsson's 26-year-old son, Swedish international, here at Old Trafford, where his father, late in his career, had a memorable few months and won a Premier League title with Manchester United. It's going to be Jordan Larson up against Andre Onana, and this to make it 1-1. This to snatch a point for the Danish champions here at Old Trafford. Larson backs away now, 4, 5, 6 strides. It's going to be a left-footed penalty by the son of Henrik. Jordan Larson waits with his hands on his hips and comes up and strikes the ball. Oh, it's saved by Onana! And the Manchester United players, 5, 6, 7, all of them race in and slap Andre Onana on the back. He saved it. The ball's out for a corner. I'm not sure whether that's it. It is, that's it. The final whistle goes. That was the last action of the match. Onana diving to his left to make the save. Well, he's made his mistakes in his young Manchester United career. Andre Onana, the goalkeeper, but that's a big one. That's crucial, and that's lift-off for Manchester United in this Champions League group. Their first win, their first point. 1-0 does it. Harry Maguire at one end and Onana at the other, beyond Dublin.
What a save. What a penalty save that is, by the way. It's incredible. Jordan Larson stutters towards the ball. I think he's got to go to the keeper's right because the keeper's committed himself. But Larson's not looking at the keeper. He's made his mind up. It's a great save. It's a strong hand. Well done, Onana. You've got away with this one, Manchester United, let me say.
They have. They've really got away with it. Manchester United 1, FC Copenhagen 0. Jordan Larson looks absolutely crestfallen. His teammates have gone to him. I have to say it's a little bit like the end of a penalty shootout, not like the end of a match. And he is being consoled by his teammates who are in the corner of Old Trafford. And just seeing again the save by Onana, diving to his left. It's his top hand that saves it. You know, he sort of claws it away as he dives towards his left post. And crucial touch. He's had some tough times. I mean, there was one pass from him in the first half. Onana, who came here with this reputation as being a great ball player, the awful pass, you know, betrayed the level of his confidence. That will do him the world of good. And Harry Maguire's second half goal has won it. And suddenly Old Trafford feels different.
Yeah, it's I don't know, I think I've got the feeling of relief, to be honest with you. I don't think it's the best performance we've seen from United. Far from it. They've got over the line. I think they've got away with it, I've got to say. Onana's great save. Harry Maguire's strong presence in the box to get his goal. That's about it. They're the only positive from this performance. Performance-wise, very poor. Result, absolutely fantastic for United. They needed it.
And apparently Garnacho was interfering with the penalty spot during the VAR check. So that's another part of that little story there. But a great noise now inside Old Trafford. It's been a nervous Old Trafford for much of the night. The Copenhagen fans are in great voice to our right. They've had a wonderful evening here. Their team did them proud, even though they've been beaten. A night as well when we've remembered Sir Bobby Charlton here at Old Trafford. He certainly would have wanted a win for an occasion like this, and that's what they've got. Well, I have to say, there is a feeling that what we've witnessed here has been something of a papering over of the cracks. Final score, though, Manchester United 1, FC Copenhagen 0.
John Murray and Dion Dublin are at Old Trafford for that win for Manchester United, a welcome win for Manchester United. Steve Bruce is also with us. Steve, it's in one sense a routine home win against a side that Manchester United are expected to beat in this competition. But in another way, it feels like a redemption arc from the much maligned Andre Onana, who's been criticised as he came in, and for Harry Maguire, who's had such a difficult time, player of the match in the last game against Sheffield United, and now scoring the winning goal in the Champions League.
Well, there's no doubt it'll do the two of them the world of good. I mean, You know, I signed Harry as a young boy when I took him to Hull, and I know all about him. And he'll stick with it. He's a resilient so-and-so, and over the last few weeks and months, he's had to show all of that. I'm delighted that he's been able to go and get the winner tonight, and the goalkeeper hasn't had the best of starts to his career. But Manchester United, it feels like a little bit of relief. There's no question they were better in the second half. A change of tactic with Eriksen coming on, who delivered the piece of quality with a great ball into the box, and Harry does what he does very well in both boxes. He heads the ball well, and he's got himself the winning goal tonight, and the goalkeeper making a save at the very last kick of the game, as I said, it'll not do them any harm whatsoever.
We will have more from Steve, from Dion and from John between now and 10:30 here on 5 Live. And the full-time whistle has gone in Seville. Sevilla taking on Arsenal. Conor McNamara.
It finishes Sevilla 1, Arsenal 2. A big win this for Arsenal. The goals from Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus either side of half-time. Goodell made it an exciting finish, but the win does move Arsenal to the top of the group. Group B for now. There was late drama, Kelly. Goalkeeper David Raya, he's under so much scrutiny at the moment. He came off his line. He attempted to punch the ball away, but it screwed ugly off his glove. It shot straight back behind him, and